was time for celebrations and fireworks in Calgary last week. Wally Buono and the Stampeders finally got their first win of the year. Stamps quarterback Jeff Garcia got roughed up early on in the season. But against the Riders, he finally got back on track. No one was more relieved with this win than kicker Mark McLaughlin. He struggled the first few games both on and off the field. But armed with a new pair of contacts, everything became clear. He kicked 5 field goals. So the Stamps are back on track, though we find out today if they're still in the early running. Next. From Taylor Field in Regina, it's the Calgary Stampeders and the Saskatchewan Roughriders on CFL Live. Something smells good in there, I'm sure. They got the barbecues going. We're live and interactive here at TSN. Play QB1 with us throughout this football game. Welcome back to CFL Live. I'm Rod Smith. The Calgary Stampeders did last week at McMahon what few teams have been able to do. They shut down Robert Mims, and that was part of the reason why they picked up their first win of the year, a vital win, and now they head to Taylor Field and look to do it again. Saskatchewan, meanwhile, trying to follow up with another win and improve to 3-2. Let's head out to Taylor Field now and join John Wells and Glenn Suter.
Rod, one of the characteristics of the Calgary Stampeders' great teams of the 90s, some big-name stars on defense. Well, if you look back to last fall and then check out the lineup today, a lot of those guys are missing.
Some big changes. Think about the defense that finished the 1996 season. I mean, take note of the guys up front. Stu Laird, Rodney Harding retired this year, and Will Johnson is now in Saskatchewan. So the defense that started the 97 season for Wally Buono looked a lot different. Ernie Brown was up front with Jeff Traversy and Dwayne Patterson. Now, tonight, some more changes. In the secondary, you're going to see Roger Rhinson replacing Greg Knox, who is out for the season. Raymond Biggs is in for Alondra Johnson, who has a pulled hamstring, and Stacey Evans replaces Ernie Brown. So even though Wally Buono is down playing all these changes he's had to deal with on defense, he's got to be concerned this afternoon.
It's a lot of new faces, 6, in fact, from a year ago. Now, when you look at the Stampeders from last week, they handled the Saskatchewan Roughriders offensive line rather well. Robert Mims was limited to about 19 yards rushing. Do these changes help Robert Mims get out of the backfield today?
I think they should. I mean, Robert Mims is an experienced running back and a darn good one. I mean, he led the CFL in rushing last season, had a tough game against Calgary last week, but with these changes, Robert Mims should have a better night. And the only reason I think that is because there's inexperience on defense now. When you take Alondra Johnson out of the middle, that's a big hole to fill. And even though Raymond Biggs has been around Calgary, it's going to be a lot tougher for them to stop that run this afternoon.
Reggie Slack will start for the 3rd straight time at quarterback for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but the fans at Taylor Field will begin the countdown to Kevin Mason's arrival on the football field at about the time we kick off the ball this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, the quarterbacking controversy, although Jim Daly says it's not a controversy, that's been the big story in Regina, but so too less, I think, after last week at McMahon, the way that Calgary was able to shut down Saskatchewan's running game.
In order for Saskatchewan to have a good game and to win this game tonight is for their offensive line to play a lot better than what they did last week. Saskatchewan's offensive line has been basically why they've won the last 2 games. And to get Robert Mims involved in this game is the only way they're going to win to help these struggling quarterbacks.
Well, Obi, there's a lot of talk about Saskatchewan's offense and defense, but special teams as well rears its head.
when you look at the league stats that have come out and look at the Calgary team versus Saskatchewan, Calgary's got two of the best return guys in Terry Vaughn and Marvin Coleman. They're averaging both over 10 yards a return on punts. And Rod Harris's best he's been able to do is just over 5. And Tony Martino's the best net punter. They've got a lot of areas where they're much more proficient in that respect. So Saskatchewan's added Profile Greer as a return guy tonight to maybe this afternoon to try and bolster up, which has been kind of a sick return game for Saskatchewan. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops today.
I hate to tell you this, but Marty York's in a slump after 7 straight losses below 500. Now, you say you love Saskatchewan. Maybe if you really love them, you'll pick Calgary today. What do you think?
Well, you know what, Rod? The coin flip didn't work last night, so I'm resorting to a psychic. I'm calling Rosa the psychic. So just bear with me for a second. I hear she's pretty good. It's 1-800.
Make it a quick call. Make it a quick call.
Okay. Hi, Rosa. It's Marty York at TSN. Oh, you knew it was me? How'd you know? Oh, yeah, you're a psychic. Listen, well, then you know I've been slumping, Rosa, with my TSN picks, right? I need your help. Who do you like today? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, got it. Got it. Thank you. Okay, Rosa says Las Vegas is favoring the Roughriders by 3 points, and Rosa loves the home side.
Rosa just tossed the coin herself.
Rosa thinks Katie Williams, Henry Newby, Lamar McGriggs, and she even mentioned Bobby Jurison will pressure Jeff Garcia today, and she worries that Garcia may not be able to finish the game if he is too much of a daredevil with his scrambling and his running. Rosa sees Kevin Mason replacing Reggie Slack before the game is over, leading the Roughriders to a victory at Taylor Field, where all the fans will be going crazy. So Rosa says, take the Roughriders and lay the points.
Rosa said all that in that amount of time.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Hey, you want to fire up the team? Katie Williams knows how to do that. Painted face and all, Saskatchewan needs a win. He says they're going to get it. Opening kickoff coming up, the Roughriders and Calgary Stampeders. And listen to Rosa, too. Kickoff is next in CFL Live on TSN.
The rematch 8 days later, Calgary and Saskatchewan. The Stamps won game 1 at home. The Riders look to even the score at Taylor Field. Rain earlier, and it could be a little slick out there in the turf at Taylor Field this afternoon. But after 3 straight losses, Wally Buono finally got his Stampeders on track last week. Stamps are ready to kick it off. And 2 deep for Saskatchewan. Profile Greer and Harris. Not a big run out to the 30-yard line. Reggie Slack gets the call as the starting quarterback for the Saskatchewan Roughriders for the 3rd straight time. Last week, he was good on 8 of 19 for 74 yards and rushed for 29. A great group of receivers with Mayfield, Farthing, Harris, and Narcisse. And in the backfield, it'll be Robert Mims to start the ball game. Slack beginning from the shotgun. Rolling right, and first ball is almost intercepted by Darrell Hall. In fact, Hall should have had the interception.
Darrell Hall was so surprised the ball hit him right in the chest. I'm not sure where Reggie Slack was trying to get that football, but there it is in fast motion, and it looked the same going that speed. Bounced right off Darrell Hall's chest, and boy, he's be shaking his head about that one.
2nd and 10 on the 32.
Oh, my. Curtis Mayfield to the near side. Don Narcisse, far side of the field. Saskatchewan sets up for 2nd and 10. Slack has all kinds of time and decides to take off himself. He'll have the first down out across the 40 to the 41. So the Boo Birds have started cheering. They booed Slack on his first pass and cheer the run. Up front, these guys had some trouble last week, and I think that puts it mildly. They're all trying to get their game back together from what happened last week at McMahon Stadium. Slack didn't get a very good spot on this, so they'll measure to see how close he is to the first down.
Well, he wouldn't have been that close, John, had Anthony McClanahan not been picked by the official.
Any portion of the ball.
Now, wait a minute.
I've not seen it that close before.
Wow. You're going to have to get down there and take a look at that one.
No, it's shorter than that. Reggie, it's an inch.
When quarterbacks always look to the sideline, hold their fingers together like that, they're usually exaggerating quite a bit. It's usually about half a yard, but that was exactly how far it was. About an inch.
Third down, an inch to go for the Saskatchewan Roughriders at the 42-yard line. Slack hangs on, and he'll have the first down with no penalty markers in evidence anywhere on the turf at Taylor Field.
It is first down.
Well, the call-in shows here in Regina over the past week have been quite adamant about the fact that they'd like to see number 11, not number 17, starting at quarterback for the Saskatchewan Roughriders after Kevin Mason's fourth quarter in Calgary. Most of the fans here wanted to see him play, but Jim Daly said, nope, he's going with the veteran.
First down, Saskatchewan, just underway, and Robert Mims takes out for about 4 yards.
7, Robert Mims.
Well, we talked about the Calgary defense in the opening, and there's been some changes for that defensive front four. Steve Anderson joins the group. He was in there last week, but now Stacey Evans replaces Ernie Brown, and of course Ray Biggs is playing for Alonda Johnson. And in the secondary, Roger Reinson plays free safety. Greg Knox gone for the season with a torn Achilles tendon.
They give Mims a gain of 5. That's more than he picked up on any one carry last week. To the near side, and Sean Daniels made the catch, but comes up short of the first down.
Sean Daniels over here.
Well, one of the few veterans, John, in that defensive secondary that are still there. You remember Al Jordan is also out of that lineup. He's been replaced by William Hampton, but Eddie Davis is one of the guys that finished last season and back with them this year, and he broke up nicely and made the play for Calgary.
So punting situation, the Roughriders did manage a couple of first downs and should hold some decent field position on Calgary with Vaughn deep. Terry Vaughn has about 3 on the return. Stampeders will begin out of the 25, and there's a no yards penalty down there on a 3-yard return, a 37-yard punt. Wally Buono in his 8th season as the head coach of the Calgary Stampeders, more wins than any coach in Canadian football through the 90s.
Well, Jim Daly's the 23rd head coach for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. In 1997, he's 1-1 on the road and 1-1 at home. Of course, one of those wins against the powerful Argos right here in Taylor Field a couple weeks ago, but he's coming off the loss to the Calgary Stampeders last week.
Let me set the record straight on the penalty. It goes against the Stampeders, who will now begin back at the 10. A blocking infraction. Jeff Garcia likes to run and does it effectively on that play. Out across the 20, he'll have a first down. On his first carry, Garcia rushed for a touchdown last week, the only one the Stampeders had. 31 rushes for 156 yards. He averages 5 yards a carry when he does that, and he's passed for over 1,000. Travis Moore and Terry Vaughn are the outside receivers. Joseph Rogers, Vince Danielson. Inside, Dwayne Ford and Kelvin Anderson will run the ball. First down, Calgary. Garcia looks to the near side. He has Rogers. And Rogers has a first down. So back-to-back first downs for the Stampeders. Good start. And a 15-yard gain there.
That is a good start. Calgary's coming out throwing the ball on first down, which is interesting because of the success that Kelvin Anderson had last week running the football. He had close to 100 yards rushing, but this week Calgary's come up, changed some things up a little bit, and is throwing on first down.
Stampeders began back at the 10-yard line. They're out to the 35. Kelvin Anderson trying to turn the corner. It won't be easy. A mob scene out there. Joseph was there, but McGriggs led the charge for Saskatchewan.
Lamar McGriggs had the great pursuit angle, but the play was made by Tyrell Almer at the point of attack. You're going to see number 22 flashing the screen right in front of Kelvin Anderson right there. That cuts him off. Tyrell Almer leads the Saskatchewan Roughriders in tackles for losses. He's been a force on run support for this team.
And the loss there, -4. 2nd and 14, Calgary. Garcia, deep drop. And he has his man out at the 45. That's Terry Vaughn, wrapped up by Benson Donaldson. They needed 14. They come up with 15.
Well, Saskatchewan goes with the nickel. Number 30, Bryce Bevel, comes in and plays the extra defensive back. They just rush 4 guys and play zone behind it, but because Jeff Garcia can buy some time, move up and step up in the pocket, Terry Vaughn finds an open area.
Another Stampeder first down at the 45. Heat on Garcia. He won't get away. Brian Robinson appeared to be the first Rough Rider through. Henry Newby was not far behind.
Troy Alexander provided the initial pressure. He's in the lineup because Will Johnson is out with an injury, and they think that he may be gone for the season. LeBrant Robinson ends up cleaning him up and getting the sack on the play, but great pressure from the outside initially from Troy Alexander, and Henry Newby was also involved in the blitz.
10th sack by a great Rough Rider defense in '97. Loss is 9. Garcia looking to escape, and he's grabbed by Bobby Jurison. Just got across the line. 2-yard gain. Jurison wrapped him up.
Well, Bobby Jurison, 11 sacks last season. That's his 3rd of the 1997 campaign. Of course, the Saskatchewan Roughriders all-time leader, quarterback sacks.
So the Stamps did put together a couple of first downs. Martino will kick from his 25. Profale Greer. Snowed under. Reggie Slack will begin the Rough Rider attack when we return to CFL Live. No score so far.
The CFL Live on TSN is brought to you by Advantage, providing solutions for business. And by Gatorade. Life is a sport. Drink it up.
Wally Buono handled things pretty well during the losing streak, didn't he? He was pretty even keel, on a pretty even keel.
Yeah, he certainly was. I mean, he knows that he has a good football team in Calgary, and there's no reason to panic. I mean, we talked about some of the changes he's had to deal with. Wally Buono has downplayed them, but he's had to deal with a lot of injury changes and a lot of different situations, so he's confident with his team.
Riders begin at the 30-yard line. This is Robert Mims' 2nd carry. Parker is down in the backfield, and Mims has maybe 3. Stacey Evans made the tackle, but I think there was a little holding back there.
Well, the way Darryl Hall was throwing his hands up in the air, that usually is an indication that it was against him.
Holding Saskatchewan number 59.
Repeat first down.
James Monroe over from Ottawa. He remains a Rough Rider.
And I think he was holding Darryl Hall.
And that's why Hall
was
made the
throwing
call.
his hands up. That's right.
1st and 20, Riders back at the 20-yard line. No score so far at Taylor Field. A rematch from 8 days ago when the Stampeders won at Calgary. Slack dumps it off for Mims. Looked for a block and got one. More than halfway to the first down. He has 12.
Well, it's a pretty good call on 1st down and 20 to just dump the screenplay off and see if Robert Mims can pick up at least half of it. Calgary drops off in the zone, and guess who comes up to make the tackle? Roger Reinson. Be interesting to watch how he plays at the free safety position with Greg knocks out. Now, Roger Reinson has played a little free safety, takes reps in practice, but if he's going to be asked to tackle Robert Mims throughout this game, if he's the one that has to tackle Mims, it could be a long night for Calgary because he's the last guy back there.
Saskatchewan Mobility. Watson Tractor.
Injured Stampeder
Silver Screen
is Steve Anderson, 92.
Along with the Cunnell Lab and Superior Propane.
Pat Clayton, Stampeder's athletic therapist, attending to him. Fourth year in the CFL, really draws in to get some playing time here with injuries along that front group.
Of course, and he had the big play last week when came up with an interception against Saskatchewan and was a force to be reckoned with on that defensive line for Calgary, who really had their best outing of the 1997 campaign for Calgary, because Dwayne Patterson was the player of the week. Steve Anderson was a big addition there as well last week.
Now, I would guess that Roger Reinson had to attend the Glenn Suter Safety School a time or two when he was playing in Regina for the Regina Rams.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Roger Reinson has quite the history here in Regina. Played with the Rams, and pretty excited about being back here and starting against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, a team he grew up watching.
On 2nd and 8, Slack almost has it picked off. Looking for Farthing.
Slack's pass intended for Dan Farthing, number 10, who was knocked away.
And a couple of Stampeders were close to the ball, including Kenton Leonard, who's shaken up.
Well, Ken Leonard does a nice job. He's been having a great season, a couple interceptions so far this year, handful of knockdowns, and he comes across and with the help of Daryl Hall deflects that football away from Dan Farthing. Talked to Wally Buono about Kenton Leonard. Why this year all of a sudden it seems that he's having his best year, and he said, you know, he's always played real well, he just never finished. In other words, he was around the football and making plays, but he wasn't coming up with interceptions, so people really didn't notice him. Now he is, and they are.
They brought in several guys to challenge Kenton Leonard for a job this year, and he beat everybody out, all the young whippersnappers.
Yeah, he did, and he's slow getting up, John, and interesting to see now what Wally Buono is going to have to do to make changes. Now, Daryl Hall will have to play in the secondary. He's talking to Daryl Hall right now. He's going to have to go to halfback and replace Kenton Leonard.
And they'll make an adjustment with Ray Bernard in the linebacking core. We'll sort it all out when we return to Taylor Field in Saskatchewan. Kenton Leonard still being attended to. He's at the Stampeder bench now, however. They're looking at his right eye. I don't know if he got a finger jammed into his eye or what, but we'll keep you posted on whether Leonard is able to return. Saskatchewan in a 3rd down kicking situation. Marvin Coleman. And that looks like a no-yards call. 37-yard punt and no return. Jeff Garcia hitting on 55% of his passes. 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions so far. Going back to last year, the Roughriders have kept him in check a time or two. 130 yards. And a couple of touchdown passes back to November 3rd, 96.
That's pretty amazing. Only 2 touchdown passes in those 3 games, and he didn't have one last week when these 2 teams played. So Saskatchewan's defense does a pretty nice job of playing against Jeff Garcia.
Stampeders begin in excellent shape right at midfield. Garcia looks one way and back again. Look left, look right, and then went to Vaughn on his left side and fired it about 5 feet over his head.
Yeah, he threw that one away. Well, Jeff Garcia is going to have to deal with a pretty tough defense. Well documented the linebacking core with Lamar McGrakes, K.D. Williams, and Henry Newby on the outside. They're a pretty tough group and can send a lot of pressure. And in the secondary, one change, Jason Mallett plays the safety. Bryce Bevel is now the nickel back. Vincent Donaldson and Patrick Burke are on the corners.
Rogers to the near side. Travis Moore split to the far side. Garcia to his left. He has Rogers, and he's short of the first down by about a yard. Had to come back to make the catch. Ulmer was covering and limited the gain to about 9.
You're going to see Henry Newby providing some pressure from the outside. A little bit of a stunt. Troy Alexander works into the middle. Henry Newby, and then Alexander comes up the middle with K.D. Williams from the opposite side. So see a little bit of the stunts we talked about when introducing him. Those 3 linebackers, any one of them, pretty good quarterback. Hunters, I guess would be the best way to put it.
There you go. Here's Tony Martino in again, standing at his 50. Rider returners back at their 10. Greer and Ulmer. Bit of a knuckler. And a no yards flag there. Profale Greer has been the busiest return guy, but he doesn't have many yards thus far. Still zeros on the board at Taylor Field, Regina on CFL Live. Ken Leonard is back in the Calgary Stampeders secondary. There was a suggestion he got the football in the eye. How does a football get through the mask?
He's right over here at the right of your screen to come across, and Darryl Hall deflects the ball first with his right hand, and then pow, hits him right on the right in the eye. That's using his head.
Saskatchewan beginning at the 21, first down. 6 receivers set. And Slack can't find anyone open. Near side, he's got Farthing. And Farthing is bulldogged down by Coleman, who grabs him high and held on.
Marvin Coleman, number 17. It's a first down.
Dan Farthing having his best season so far. If he stays on this pace, Dan Farthing will come very close to 1,000 yards.
Tough week last week, 119 yards off that total because of penalty.
If he's 119 yards short of 1,000, he's going to be upset with Rod Harris, who was offside on those plays.
Here's Profale Greer into the Saskatchewan backfield. First down. Slack. Oh, yeah. Narcisse draws a penalty. Eddie Davis covering. And that's a 2-flagger.
Yeah, well, definitely pass interference on Eddie Davis. He just didn't time this up properly. Don Narcisse turned around, was waiting in the curl for the ball to be delivered to him, and Eddie Davis hits him in the middle of the back.
Forward pass interference. Calgary number 29. First down.
It almost looked like Eddie Davis couldn't see when the ball was going to arrive. It was on its way, and he hits Don Narcisse in the back, but it looked to me like he couldn't see it. And that's probably why the timing was off.
Don Narcisse has caught a ball in 166 straight games. He'll catch one this afternoon. First down. Slack has all kinds of time. And Mayfield makes a nice catch. Only about 5 yards, but a pretty play.
Well, it was a great catch by Curtis Mayfield for one reason, and that's number 41, Anthony McClanahan. Mayfield's going to cut all the way across underneath. Watch 41. Right after that play, 41 flashes in front of him and almost takes his head off, and Mayfield keeps concentration and hangs on to the football. See 41 breaking over there. Look at that. Almost took his head off there.
Give Mayfield an 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Robert Mims gets the call. He'll have a first down. Almost to midfield. McClanahan made the tackle, number 41.
Well, John, we're seeing a couple of different formations, though, from Saskatchewan. It's something you haven't seen all season. They'll go with 2 backs with Robert Mims and Sean Daniels in the backfield. Now they'll also go with that spread offense that, of course, Toronto and BC plays, and they'll put Profale Greer in there. But you're going to go with some 5 receivers and 6 receivers.
Another Saskatchewan first down as the Riders close in on midfield. Little play action fake to Mims. Throwing on the run. Loose ball, and Mayfield stolen away. Hampton had it, I thought, for a split second, or at least they shared it for a moment. Mayfield came away with it.
John, they both caught that one a couple of times because was a great break by William Hampton, who has really played well in replacing Al Jordan on the corner. Reggie Slack rolls out and throws this one. Now it's a race back to the football between Mayfield and Hampton. Hampton wins the race and has his hands on it first, but he doesn't hang on, and Mayfield picks up the tip.
And a 13-yard gain. Saskatchewan into Calgary territory. Slack has looked pretty sharp on this drive. He missed Farthing that time. Davis was with him.
Slack to Farthing, incomplete.
Miscommunication.
A lot of the fans here may think that was just a poorly thrown football, but I think Reggie Slack was trying to throw it away. Looked to me like he didn't see what he liked as far as coverage downfield and just heaved that one where no one could catch it.
Mims and Sean Daniels come out of that Saskatchewan backfield. So everybody's a receiver in there right now. A 6-receiver set, 3 on each side. Oh, almost a beautiful catch. Mayfield had it for a split second. And Hampton caused him to fumble, or at least drop it.
It's 3rd and 10.
Curtis Mayfield working on William Hampton is right here. He's going to just come right across the field. William Hampton's going to pick him up. William Hampton's got the deep coverage. You see 21 sit on him. Now he breaks to the inside. Now when Mayfield has to go up and catch that football, Hampton times it up perfectly and hits him and knocks it out of there.
Hampton did a pretty good job on Mayfield last week in Calgary. Mayfield is
He really
at
did.
least even in this battle today.
No, I mean, he really did. Mayfield had just 2 catches last week for 5 yards. William Hampton was a big reason for that.
I think the Riders may be short 1 player out there. That's the reason for the delay.
What? I think they're short 2.
Okay, let's get the wide shot into account.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh,
Here comes 2.
It'll be an embarrassing day in the film room for Ryan Carey
And Rick Walters.
At
least they can sit together.
Yeah, they'll be in the corner, sitting by themselves.
They'll say, I was waiting for you to tell me it was punt team.
Here's the deal, no real harm done. They take the time count violation and move back. So McCallum will just have to kick it a little farther. Could have been worse. Oh, high and deep. This is Bond. Seam opened up and Bond's out to the 20-yard line. Walters was there on the tackle. 40-yard punt, 12-yard return. Joseph Rogers, as a rookie, 1,253 yards with the Ottawa Roughriders last year.
Of course, was a finalist for the Outstanding Rookie Award in the CFL. And his teammate won it.
That's as close as he got to the award. Garcia, near side, has Sean Danielson.
His pass is caught.
Or Vince Danielson, I should say. Sean Daniels, Vince Danielson.
Well, Vince Danielson's been a great addition. Gerald Wilcox retired early in the season, and Vince Danielson has come in and all of a sudden has become the Calgary Stampeders' leading receivers. You can see by the numbers. A lot of his catches are going to come when teams play zone. Vince Danielson can recognize it. Used to be an old quarterback in college, so he can recognize it and find the spots.
Danielson has 5. This is 2nd and 5, and they missed the play. Vaughn went upfield, and Garcia fired along the sidelines.
Well, Jeff Garcia, if he's going to throw an out pattern or an out cut to the sideline, he's got to throw it before Vaughn breaks. So he lets that ball go before Vaughn breaks to the out. Vaughn didn't do it. He kept going straight.
So the Riders will get it back in a hurry. Still no score and only 28 seconds to play in the opening quarter at Taylor Field. Profale Greer at the 45-yard line. And another marker down. Stampeders a little too close on the coverage. Jason Clements was inside that 5-yard area.
No yard. Calgary number 32. First down.
Kelvin Anderson got nabbed on the no yards.
I don't think it
penalty.
was Kelvin Anderson. I don't think he'd be on that team, would he?
He could be. He could be one of the deep backs. You see Don Narcisse, very close to ex-teammate Ray Elgard, who is CFL's leader, all-time receptions. And of course, he wants to keep that streak alive of consecutive catches in a game.
1-6-6. This be a good time to get it to Narcisse. On the last play of the first quarter, Slack has to get out of there. Nice run. Whoa! Oh, and he's upended by the other number 17, Marvin Coleman.
Whoa. When Coleman
hurt himself.
When Coleman made that hit, John Daly almost ran on the field to see if his quarterback was okay.
Nice run by Reggie Slack to get the Roughriders a little deeper into Calgary territory. Final play of the quarter. Let's send you back to CFL control.
CFL Live at the Quarter is brought to you by Midas for new, longer-lasting carbon metallic brake pads.
Welcome back to our CFL Live Control Center. Rod Smith with Obi, Les, and Marty. Reggie Slack, last play of the quarter, going a little head over heels. Now looking to influence those doubting fans who want to go head over heels for some starting quarterback here. Let's continue the debate. Why not? Les, how do you think Reggie's done?
Reggie Slack looks very good. I mean, he's putting together some first downs. He's moved the ball from deep in their own area to put it in the midfield so they could have good field position. This kid looks very composed, you know, taking to granted that everybody's been calling for his head, you know.
Come on,
and plus, Saskatchewan's offense has put together a good scheme. You know, they've pass, and opened up the run for Robert Mims as well.
Reggie Slack playing well. I don't see any points on the board yet. And I think Mayfield helped him out as well.
Boring game for you, right?
Because it's low scoring.
That's another argument.
But what he is doing effectively, what Reggie Slack is doing effectively, is he's finally going to Curtis Mayfield. Only had 8 catches coming into today, and I think they've been ignoring their wideouts, both Narcisse and Mayfield. Today he's going to him, and that's a good thing. That's a positive sign because that guy's a money player.
Well, the other thing you got to give credit to is both defenses are playing really well. I mean, right now it's a struggle, and as Les pointed out, it's field position is what the offenses are working for. They haven't really gotten in position yet to score any points.
Coach, I got to ask you something quickly. The injury situation in Calgary's D, how as a head coach would you deal with that? You lose so many guys. Kenton Leonard goes down. He gets back in the game. Anderson down before him, gets back. And now we just see at the end of the quarter, Marvin Coleman looks to be hurt his hand on that play with Slack. But how do you deal with that?
He panicked.
Well, you hope you have enough backup depth, and that's why you're always trying to improve your talent pool all the way around. But when you get those multiple injuries at a certain position, like say all 3 or 4 DBs go down, boy, I mean, you do panic. You got to think of all kinds of crazy things to try and finish the game, go to a 4-4 defense.
Get somebody out of the stand.
Do something, you know. I've even thought about playing a couple times now.
Yeah, that's the concern for Wally Buono. Marvin Coleman, you see the injury there. Hopefully not too bad. We head out to Taylor Field again. Scoreless game. John Wells, Glen Sutter, guys.
About as close as any team has come this afternoon. Slack decided to run from the get-go there.
Well, Slack went with Profale Greer as one receiver, and Ricky Walters as the other. 6 receiver pack for Reggie Slack. He takes off to the outside, just tries to beat Dwayne Patterson to the corner.
7 for Reggie Slack, 2nd down and 3 to go, Saskatchewan. Riders should come away with something here. They're inside the 30-yard line. Spotted at the 29. Profale Greer, the lone running back, gets the call. They were looking for him to get Saskatchewan a little more outside speed that they weren't getting with Robert Mims last week. I think he can get outside. He proved he can there.
Well, it was a good call, too, John, because Calgary got caught in a bit of a stunt. Daryl Hall got caught right up in there in the mix on Scott Hendrickson, and that's why there was a little bit of a seam for Profale Greer to hit it. And he's quick. I mean, he's in Ottawa for 5 games last year. He averaged close to 5 yards a carry, and he's got great speed to the outside and pretty good hands as well.
Spent his early days in Saskatchewan on the injury list with an eye problem. Another 6-receiver set, and Slack lost the ball. Stampeders have it. It just rolled right to Dwayne Patterson.
93 is Dwayne Patterson.
Now that's a horrible turn of events for 17, isn't it?
And it's the center's fault, Carl Coulters. He snaps it right off the shin of Reggie Slack. Reggie Slack never touched that football with his hands. Then when he went to bend over and get it, he got hit. Couldn't pick it up. Dwayne Patterson does.
So you're blaming the center.
Well, it was on that play.
Turnover goes to Calgary. First down at the 26. 4 receivers to the near side, and Kelvin Anderson takes off up the middle. Troy Alexander, 46. Saskatchewan made the stop.
Troy Alexander, number 46.
Kelvin Anderson had a pretty good game against the Saskatchewan Roughriders last game. He had 82 yards, didn't score a touchdown, but he got his average back up to what he had his average at last year, which was around 5 yards a carry. Before that game in Saskatchewan, it was a little bit lower, closer to 4 yards a carry.
Anderson got 8 there. This is 2nd and 2 Calgary. Garcia shotgun. Fired quickly to the far side. And Travis Moore has enough for the first down.
Travis Moore stepping into touch at the Calgary bench.
No scoring so far.
First down.
Here are the numbers from the opening quarter at Taylor
21.
Field.
First and
Fairly
10.
even in passing. The Roughriders lead the rushing parade.
And I was just talking about the fact that Kelvin Anderson had a pretty good game against Saskatchewan, and Calgary so far only has 8 yards rushing. Strong foul.
Garcia on first down as Travis Moore on the other side this time. And Jurison cut up to him from behind.
Brought down by 71, Jurison.
Lamar McGriggs is injured on the play. I didn't see how he got hurt. He's lying down, and he looks like he's in a lot of pain.
I'm a radio guy now. Watch me.
Taking up on the play, Saskatchewan 38, McGriggs.
Had an outstanding debut as an Ottawa Rough Rider a year ago, and has made a real impact on the Saskatchewan defense since joining the Rough Riders of the West.
Oh, he certainly has. I mean, he's got great speed rushing the quarterback, and Jim Daly loves the way he can also drop and cover receivers. I mean, most linebackers, you just ask him to cover running backs, but Lamar McGriggs, who you can see is in a lot of pain, he's got the speed to be able to run with slot backs as well, and sometimes even wide receivers. And had a key interception a couple weeks back where he tossed it to Dale Joseph, and Dale Joseph scored on him. But see if we can see how Lamar McGriggs gets hurt. Number 38 trailing the play, and he just slides and jams his right knee.
He got hurt on the turf, losing his balance. Nice to see he's up. He was the first overall pick in the Ottawa dispersal draft taken by the Saskatchewan Roughriders. 55 tackles in 10 games for Ottawa now.
Did he get dinged? Because he just put his hat on backwards.
Yeah, I think maybe he took it in the head.
I think his knee's okay, but someone's got to tell him his hat's on backwards.
Gain of 6 in the last play, 2nd and 4.
Stampeders across the 47 now. Garcia, a little option. Vaughn can't get to it. The Riders recover. It's Bobby Jurison. Terry Vaughn was supposed to take the pitch, couldn't handle it. And one fumble Calgary, one fumble Saskatchewan. The Riders really don't lose much ground here.
Well, they don't, and the key is that the fumble for Calgary comes in their end of the field, so it's a better chance for Saskatchewan to get some points out of it. The pitch was high from Jeff Garcia. Terry Vaughn really didn't have a chance to get this one. He's looking downfield as well. Kind of high. He tried to one-hand catch it. Bobby Jurison, who is always pursuing to the football, comes up with the fumble recovery.
Saskatchewan first down. And it's tough running against that Calgary defensive line for Robert Mims.
Yeah, you talk about the changes in the Calgary defense with Alondra Johnson out of the middle and Raymond Biggs having to play there, and yet they're still second in the league against the run. They only give up about 76 yards a game. Raymond Biggs has been in Calgary's organization for a couple years now, and does a pretty good job in the middle.
Robert Mims picks up 1, 2nd and 9, Saskatchewan. Calgary 35-yard line. Slack looking deep, looking for Narcisse. No catch. Leonard was there, and Coleman was in the vicinity too. Tight coverage on Don Narcisse.
It's called cover 2-man, and let me explain it. Coleman is in man-to-man on Don Narcisse, but he knows he has help over the top from Kent Leonard. Kent Leonard is the deep defender, just flows to the football, and he's the one who actually comes across and knocks that out of the hands of Don Narcisse. There's one for you. Cover 2-man.
Cover 2-man.
Man-to-man underneath, 2 deep zone behind it.
Paul McCallum will try for the first points of the afternoon at Taylor Field. Spotted at the 42, and McCallum is wide.
Field goal attempt wide to the left.
Just 5 of 10 attempts for McCallum
And
so far in 97.
Marvin Coleman is the center.
A bit of a long shot. No, I likely should have had it. Saskatchewan does hit the board. It's 1-0 Roughriders.
The CFL Live on TSN is brought to you in part by Midas for new, longer-lasting carbon metallic brake pads.
A light drizzle falling over Taylor Field as Garcia comes up with a strike to Terry Vaughn, far side of the field.
Garcia's pass complete to
First play after the Saskatchewan single, the only scoring of the football afternoon at Taylor Field.
And you know Terry Vaughn wants to get a little more involved in the offense for the Calgary Stampeders. He's had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, and right now he's on pace to fall short of that, about 800 yards. So he gets a lot of his yards after he catches the football. It's a good job of running with the ball once he catches it.
17 yards the pickup for Garcia and the Stampeders on the connection with Vaughn.
Good job.
And another nice pass on target for Vince Danielson, 88. Slanting over the middle. 2 catches for 35 yards for Danielson last week, and Lamar is back. Lamar McGrigg, shaken up, is back in the Saskatchewan linebacking corps.
Apparently he has a bruised knee from last week's game against the Calgary Stampeders, and he just re-injured that a little bit, but he's a tough cookie. He'll be back. He's back in there.
2nd and 1, Calgary. Not this time. Kelvin Anderson wrapped up by Bobby Jurison. They needed 1. They lost 1.
Bobby Jurison told me that he will be flopping sides according to tendencies from the Calgary Stampeders to help in stopping the run on the backside. And you're going to see him knife up there, throw Danielson aside, and hit Kelvin Anderson in the backfield. Jurison is going to be flopping sides. Saskatchewan felt like on the backside of running plays, they were a little bit weak on the run, so that's where Jurison's going to line up today.
Tony Martino averaging 39 even. Nailed a 46er. 46-yarder earlier. This one sails into the end zone over Ulmer. Now Greer goes back. They both stand there for a moment. Martino is not speeding upfield. No, he was on a leisurely jog, not quite the Sean Fleming style. Hey folks, it's tied. 1-1. Wow. Saskatchewan quarterback spreading it around to 3 receivers rather evenly.
I like this one.
And Mayfield.
I like that one right there. 8 catches, 208 yards. He's got an incredible 26-yard average per catch.
Just catch the big ones.
Yeah.
Narcisse has 12 for 117. Different patterns, different routes. Mayfield has made some big plays. And when Mayfield has made big plays, the Riders have had success.
Yeah, usually late in the 4th quarter, he'll get the touchdown for him.
First down, Saskatchewan after the single beginning at the 35. Profile Greer takes off again. Speedy little runner. Playing in his first game as a Saskatchewan Roughrider. Has 6 there. An exciting 6 yards.
Yeah, and it makes it tough for the Calgary defense when at one one point they get Robert Mims, who's coming in the football game right now, and the play before they get Profile Greer. Two completely different athletes, different style of runners. Of course, Greer with the quickness to the outside, and Robert Mims likes to slash and cut back, and he'll take you on more physical running back. So
Reggie Slack, Reggie Slack has hit on 5 of 10, 49 yards thus far. He won't get a chance to get this one away, or will he? He made a completion. Robert Mims standing on the sideline. A 9-yard gain. I thought he was all wrapped up.
What a play by Reggie Slack. I mean,
Here's the call.
people talk about Reggie Slack's knee. Looks pretty good to me.
Stampeders say this is going against Saskatchewan. Jake says differently. Oh, now he's changed his mind. Stampeders were right.
Well, you got to take a look at that scramble by Reggie Slack, though. Marvin Pope has the first shot of him from the top of your screen, number 91. He flips him right around, but somehow Slack keeps his feet. See Raymond Biggs and McClanahan trying to get him, and he finally delivers a football.
They call pass interference against Don Narcisse.
From the 41, they ball back onto the 30.
Don Narcisse wasn't even part of that play.
So now, Saskatchewan
15 yards.
looking at 2nd and 15. Back to the 30. That 6-receiver set again. Slack got heat and got away. Looking for Harris, and it's underthrown. Picked up. Eddie Davis has an interception. A pass that shouldn't have been thrown. What do you say?
Reggie Slack never saw Eddie Davis sliding across to the zone defense. Eddie Davis was baiting him. He didn't even run full speed until the football was in the air. He's just going to slide across. He's right out here, and he's just going to slide across once he takes his zone drop. See him just drop into the middle. Little jam on the receiver going down the field. Now watch him slide, take his time, ball's in the air, he goes.
Harris was open.
Reggie Slack never saw him.
And Slack went the wrong direction, comes up with an interception. Garcia, Travis Moore, touchdown. That's how quick the Calgary Stampeders come back.
A perfect throw by Jeff Garcia, John, and Patrick Burke. First of all, didn't get enough depth in the zone defense, and second of all, got all turned around when he tried to get the football. Jeff Garcia sees that Patrick Burke is playing the deep outside third in the zone, but he gets caught up short. So he throws a perfect ball out to Travis Moore, and you can see number 39 got all twisted around and couldn't get his hands up. Travis Moore takes advantage.
Jeff Garcia to Travis Moore, and the Stampeders have the lead. Lovely toss from Jeff Garcia to Travis Moore. And there's the quarterback's victory run. Eddie Davis has his first interception of the season, and the Calgary Stampeders, as a result of that turnover, have the lead.
Well, when you see Reggie Slack throw this ball, you can tell what I was talking about when he didn't see Eddie Davis slide out there, because he doesn't put any air on it. Eddie Davis just slides out, and what do you get? What's your reward for that? You got to go out and cover a kick.
Next play, Stampeders in the end zone. And the kickoff rolls out near the 10-yard line. There's one pass that Reggie would like back, no question.
And he's talking to Gary Hoffman, the offensive coordinator for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And Gary's got to be happy about the way his offense has been run. He just a couple of bad decisions and a turnover.
Numbers not that impressive for Slack thus far. Garcia has not done a whole bunch in some ways, but he does have the lead, and that was a terrific touchdown toss. He's gone to the left, and that's where the touchdown went.
Well, Travis Moore usually lines up on that left, and he's been on basically running against Patrick Burke, so we'll have to keep our eye on that and see if that's a matchup that Calgary continues to take advantage of.
41 yards on that touchdown toss, 94 yards. Garcia has grabbed from the left side of the field. Really 9 over the middle and only 21 to the right side. Profale Greer tries to get something going for the Roughriders. He's dynamite. This will do it. He's got to beat the kicker. And the kicker gets him out. McLaughlin got over the forced Profile Greer out. Profale Greer, an Ottawa Roughrider last year, a Saskatchewan Roughrider for the first time today in real action. What a great return.
He started his career with the Argos, and watch the seam he hits. Goes out to the left, but he breaks back. Pretty good wall set up there with the help of 24 Benson Donaldson, and then it's just speed to the outside. Started his career in Toronto in '95, was in their training camp, and then in '96 he pretty much was a full-time football player playing with the London Monarchs in the World League, and then, of course, a few games in Ottawa. Saskatchewan picked him up in the Ottawa dispersal draft.
61 yards on the return, setting up the Saskatchewan Roughriders at the 35. And the Riders, with 6:37 till halftime, have an opportunity to close the gap here. But Slack wants to talk it over on the sideline.
Well, and it's not a bad move. If he's not absolutely sure what play to call or what to get done in this situation, it's better to call the timeout and go talk about it on the sideline. Simply because after the Travis Moore touchdown, Calgary has all the momentum. Eddie Davis picks off the pass. Travis Moore scores. Now, with the return for Profale Greer,
momentum shifts a little bit.
Momentum shifts back to Saskatchewan. If they can capitalize on it, it's all on their side.
Yeah, that's the if here right now. First down, Riders at the 35. 3 receivers near side. And that's where Slack will look. Looking deep. Should be interference, and there's the flag. And Eddie Davis had the interception. He really had to do something with Rod Harris.
You know what, John? Rod Harris got the call out of Eddie Davis on this play. I don't think he had much of a chance to catch that football. Looked like it may have been over his head.
Forward pass interference. Calgary number 29. First down.
Rod Harris is a 5-year veteran. I think when he saw that he couldn't catch his pass, watch him slow down just enough to let Eddie Davis push him, and then a little acting after the fact. He drew the penalty on that one.
34 yards. For Saskatchewan, down to the 1-yard line as a result of the penalty. 3 cracks at it from here. They'll need one more try. Sean Daniels ran into Anthony McClanahan. And Raymond Biggs was there too.
Well, Sean Daniels is a big power fullback, but I'm a little surprised that Saskatchewan doesn't have Robert Mims on the field on the 1-yard line. I mean, here's the guy who's the leading rusher last year and is their key running back, and he's not on the field right now.
Second try from the 1.
Oh, boy. No shot. No way. Calgary's defense.
Marvin Coleman has it right, and this guy was in the center of it again. Biggs for Alondra Johnson in the middle of that Calgary linebacking core.
Well, Dwayne Patterson moves inside. Wally Bono was real happy with his play last week, and Gant's come up with a couple of big plays back-to-back, and now Jim Daly has to go gambling.
He's going for it. Third down. Goal to go, Saskatchewan from the 1-yard line. There's early movement, and Slack doesn't get it away. I think the Stampeders might have been outside, but were they drawn?
Saskatchewan's going to get another crack, John. I think Calgary was offside on the play.
You're right. And Jake will make it official.
Offside. Calgary number 93. First down.
Reggie Slack just by snap count drew Dwayne Patterson offside. Patterson, of course, made the big play. He's right here. Now watch him in the snap count. There it is, right there. Darren Joseph is allowed to move forward.
Third first down by penalty, Saskatchewan. Another crack. John Daniels, right side, no problem. All you have to do when you get down there is call the right play.
Well, it was fourth time lucky for Saskatchewan. Without that penalty, they get stopped 3 times in a row on the goal line. But penalty-aided touchdown gets John Daniels in the end zone.
And a penalty set the Roughriders up at the 1-yard line as well. Interference call on Eddie Davis, who about a minute and a half before that was the hero for the Stampeders.
Well, yeah, and then
the interception.
Then Dwayne Patterson stops one running play and then gets the offside. So they're evening things out.
That's football. McCallum nails it. Even at 8. 4:23 till halftime. These two teams managed just 1 touchdown each when they met last week.
You get down the goal line, everyone wants to pinch in the middle, and John Daniels just bounces to the outside. But you know what? That's sort of an emotional letdown when 3 times in a row defensively you stop the team on your own 1-yard line, get pretty pumped up, and then the penalty comes, and you have to line up and do it again. Makes it tough. And of course, that was all set up by the pass interference call with the veteran, Rod Harris. Draws the, like the old hockey when you do the acting job on the breakaway, right? Well, that gets him down to the 1-yard line.
And Eddie went for it. Actually didn't have a whole bunch of choice there. But you can tell on the bench it's affecting him. Not soon forgotten.
Well, that's football, though, John. You're right. He goes from the penthouse to the outhouse in 2 plays.
Well,
am I allowed to say that?
I think you are. I think that's a Saskatchewan term. I remember it from my days around here.
Well, the phones aren't ringing, so I guess I'm okay there.
Coleman out across the 35, stopped at the 37. Turchinski in on the stop, along with Darren Joseph. 26-yard return. Let's see what Garcia can do. 5 plays to cover 35 yards. Saskatchewan into the end zone on the Daniels 1-yard run. Makes it 8-8.
And 2 big penalties.
Garcia takes over now. Beginning at the Calgary 37. Shotgun with a 6 receiver set. Garcia can't get away. Dodged one. And LeBron Robinson got to him, number 98.
And we're talking about guys making amends. Patrick Burke got beat on the Travis Morey interception, and this time Jeff Garcia wanted to go to Terry Vaughn on the outside, but Patrick Burke had come up. You see him looking over to number 2. Patrick Burke had come up and jammed Terry Vaughn and didn't let him off the line of scrimmage, and that's why the Saskatchewan pass rush was able to get there.
He got away from Krupke, but LeBron Robinson was there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Loss of 2. This is 2nd and 12. And Vaughn can't make the catch. Patrick Burke covering on Vaughn.
Well, we're seeing a lot of Patrick Burke up here on the top, covering Vaughn. And the first play of the series here, he jams him up. This time he's just going to let him go and run with him. Vaughn pushes off, but can't get back to the football. Patrick Burke, back-to-back pretty good plays. Good football players always find a way to recover. You get beat, you forget about it. Defensive backs have to have short memories. File it and come back.
And you're speaking directly to Eddie Davis at this particular moment.
That's right. And Patrick Burke earlier.
Well, Phil Greer had a great return earlier. This isn't bad either.
needs one block here. Cut from behind. Ryanson in on it. A little help from special teamer Chris Lewis, number 3. 3 minutes to the half. The Riders are set up again for Reggie Slack. Profile Greer having a nice debut at Taylor Field. Profile Greer with a 34-yard punt return, setting the Rough Riders up in Calgary territory. He's had 2 great ones today.
He's also been involved in the offense for Saskatchewan when they go to 5 and 6 receivers, which is something we haven't seen from them at all this season.
From the Stampeder 51, 1st and 10, Saskatchewan. Narcisse to the near side. 6 receivers again. Narcisse has his 167. He turns it into a big play. 167 consecutive CFL games with at least 1 catch for Don Narcisse.
Great blocks, John, at the point of attack by John Terry and Scott Hendrickson on the play. As you see, Don Narcisse moving up the list in consecutive. No one's going to catch him. None of those, both those guys aren't playing. Well, Tony Gabriel, I don't think will catch him.
Winfield came back the other night.
Although I worked with Tony Gabriel in the award banquet last year, and I think he could still play.
Again, the 6 receiver set for Reggie Slack. And Slack bursts all the way to the end zone, but there are markers down. Flag in the Calgary secondary, but it's a 36-yard run for a touchdown for Reggie Slack, and it will stand.
Carl Coulter went to the official.
Illegal contact on an eligible receiver, Calgary number 4. Declined. Touchdown.
Now this is some kind of miracle run. A 6-receiver set. All of a sudden, a big hole opens for Reggie Slack. And he's gone. Daryl Hall took the penalty on the play. But really, the only hope the Stampeders had was that perhaps that little piece of orange nylon on the turf was going against Saskatchewan. But in that area of the field, most often it's against the defense.
Carl Coulter went to the official quickly and asked him, and he jumped up in the air before anyone else knew.
Reggie Slack, 6 carries, 70 yards, including a 36-yard touchdown. And after a quiet start, this is a pretty good ball game.
Good blocking up front by James Monroe, Gene Makowski to one side, and Carl Coulter. They had their men all tied up, and then some sloppy tackling in the middle from Raymond Bates allows Slack to get in there.
Ryanson missed him as well.
Right here is the penalty on Daryl Hall for illegal contact on Profile Greer, and I guess that's definitely some contact right there as he knocks him down. Pretty good run by Slack, and he's done it a couple of times now today. He's silencing the critics here in Saskatchewan, and I'm talking about the fans who wanted to see Kevin Mason starting quarterback.
The big part of the story, though, Profile Greer
on the
with
return.
big returns set up 2 touchdowns. Or at least put the Rough Riders in position to go in. Number 1, first day as a green Rough Rider. Played for that old Rough Rider team in Ottawa for about 5 last year. Played with Paul McCallum in the World League overseas a couple of years ago, too.
That was interesting. Fred Bailey kind of over on the sideline ready to catch it, and then psych, pulls his hands away, goes out of bounds.
Some interesting blocking on the last return.
Well, good running backs, John, only need 1 block, and Profile Greer gets it from Vincent Donaldson right there. 1 block right there springs him on Dwayne Ford. He gets to the outside, and then he just uses his ability and his instincts to find the open area.
Tony Martino got in there to run a little interference and slow him down, so some Calgary teammates could catch up.
One of the most underrated cover men in the CFL is Vincent Donaldson on the corner, and he doesn't see a lot of footballs. He's only seen about 10 all season. He also contributes on special teams like we saw on that return from Cofield Greer.
Brett Bailey returning for Calgary. And this looks pretty nice as well. Almost to midfield. 33-yard return. And Dale Joseph made the tackle. So Garcia, with 2:04 to go till halftime, gets a chance to respond.
Well, Brett Bailey takes this one back after the Saskatchewan kickoff cover team has already covered one kick. Get a little bit winded, and that's when you can break one.
An injured Rough Rider sitting out on the CFL logo at midfield. Rick Walters shaken up on the return.
Rick Walters had one big catch last week versus Calgary for 20 yards in that game. It was late in the fourth quarter. He's used sparingly. He's back up for Dan Farthing, basically, in the Saskatchewan offense. But this afternoon, he's been in there on the 5 and 6 receiver packages and seen a lot more playing time, and maybe he's caught a cramp.
Jeff Garcia has tossed for a touchdown. Completed 9 of 12 for 124 yards. Stampeders are down by a touchdown for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Garcia, a one-play touchdown drive after the Eddie Davis interception. Coming up at halftime, the boys will be ready. CFL Live Control, Rod Smith, Marty York, Les Brown, Bob Obilovich. Sure to be an argument there at some point during our halftime. And Walters.
The way he's walking with his toe kind of pointed up like that.
It looks like his shoes are too tight.
Well, it looks like a cramp. It's kind of like you're trying to stretch out the calf.
Here's the lineup next week on TSN. Alouettes in a big one at Skydome against the Argos, Winnipeg at Calgary, BC and Hamilton. Friday Night Football from McMahon Stadium next week. Garcia near side. Danielson didn't have a chance. Joseph was covering, and a little heats on Garcia later.
John Kropke got pressure on Jeff Garcia. Interesting article on Kropke, number 75, who you're going to see come over and hit Garcia late. He's the last guy to leave the locker room here in Saskatchewan after practices and games, and he said in the newspaper here in Saskatchewan, you know why? He's just having so much fun. He likes it here and he enjoys being here.
Well, after being in Ottawa through all that turmoil. No catch. Joseph Rogers, the intended target. Kropke went through a couple of years in Ottawa, then on to Winnipeg. And as Glenn says, enjoying life on the real prairie here in Saskatchewan.
Well, Joseph Rogers hasn't scored a touchdown yet for the Calgary Stampeders.
Got a few passes, though.
Yeah. He's doing all right there. He's got 17 for almost 200 yards, but hasn't found the end zone.
Martino at his 39. Cofield Greer. Two big ones already. Can he do it again? Not this time. Ryanson made the tackle. Well, hang on. Check that number. A 3-yard return after a 51-yard punt. Slack has 1:44 to work with.
Yeah, but where he is on the field right now, Jim Daly's trying to tell him, listen, we don't want a turnover down there. The worst case scenario, let's run 2 plays and punt the football. The 1:44, we want to protect the ball, not give it up right now, and give Calgary some momentum going into halftime.
Riders are pinned deep with a 7-point lead. Mayfield and Harris to the near side. On first down at the 10. Slack's done a pretty good job. Robert Mims has not run all that effectively, and again, Stampeders in the backfield with him, led by McClanahan, 41.
Oh, McClanahan used great quickness here, John, to again in the backfield. He's on the outside right here and beats Robert Mims to the hole. Watch the quickness. He reads it, beats the block, and is right in the backfield.
Second down and 14.
McClanahan creates a 4-yard loss and hinders the play selection just a little bit for Reggie Slack here on 2nd and 14 at the 6. Not too many things you can do safely. Oh, this will work though. Quarterback draw. Out to the 35, stopped by Marvin Coleman. Who is Kevin Mason?
You know what, John? I don't think this was a called quarterback draw from Reggie Slack because he sees safety blitz right there. Roger Ryan's in it come up. He sees safety blitz, so he takes off and runs. He finds one little seam. When Calgary Stampeder defense has committed to the blitz, all you need is one little crack. Now there's no one behind there to make the tackle. Reggie Slack sees it on the fly, and this little ad-lib job takes off.
Closing in on 100 yards after 28 there. Riders out from deep in their own zone, and Robert Mims out to the 40. Now 50 seconds till halftime. Darrell Hall made the stop. 6 yards for Robert Mims, 2nd and 4, Saskatchewan. But last week in Calgary and McMahon, Robert Mims only managed 19. Now a big part of that has to be attributed to the offensive line, who are taking a lot of the heat for the fact that Mims was unable to run, and all of the members of the Saskatchewan offensive line knew they didn't have a great game. Profale Greer into the backfield. All-purpose yards for Profale Greer will be interesting at halftime.
Well, you know, when you have Profale Greer, I mentioned it earlier, but it gives you the different look when a linebacker is used to breaking on Robert Mims. That's one thing, because you think he's gonna cut back, but when it's Profale Greer, he's just gonna hit it hard and use his speed to get up in there. So it's a different pursuit angle for a tackler.
16 seconds till the half. The gain was 10, another Saskatchewan first down. Slack all day to throw it. Farthing was the intended target. Nice reaction by Kenton Leonard.
Oh, he's having
his 6th knocked out.
Yeah, he is having some kind of season. 6 knockdowns, couple of interceptions, and he did not give Dan Farthing any room on that pass route. He was right in his pocket.
Second and 10. 9 seconds left till halftime. Slack, 6 receivers, shotgun, and 5 yards on that carry. Stacey Evans was there to make the tackle, number 99.
Wally Buono wants a timeout here so he can return the ball and maybe have one shot at it. At least get his punt return team on the field. Maybe go after a block here, or try and set up a wall return of some kind.
It's 3rd and 5, 5 seconds on the clock. Saskatchewan still has the offense on the field.
Well,
maybe you just run a play.
Yeah, you're seeing Jim Daly and Gary Hoffman talking to Reggie Slack about whether or not to maybe just stay in there.
Well, don't give a return guy a chance with 5 seconds.
Take the ball, run around a little bit, and then just fall down. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
I wouldn't kick here. 8 carries, now 103 yards for Reggie Slack.
Hey, watch what I tell you. Anything happens, this goddamn drive, we're going to come back home.
Hey!
Slack will put it up.
Oh, man.
See what happens. They were trying to flip it out to Greer.
Hook and ladder.
Yeah, a little flea flicker there was part of the plan. Part A did not work. As a result, there was no flea to flicker. The home team on top. Jim Daly and the Saskatchewan Roughriders have a 7-point lead, but it's not very safe at the half. We'll send you back to CFL control, and the boys are set.
Welcome back to CFL Live Control. At the half, Saskatchewan with the lead. Hey, just when it started to look ugly for Reggie Slack there, a good comeback for him. And perhaps it'll be no coincidence, one guy helping Reggie Slack out in terms of field position, Profale Greer. You talked about that before.
At the top of the show, we mentioned that Saskatchewan's return game had been kind of anemic up to this point in the season, and they inserted Profale into the lineup, and he's given them the best field position on returns that they've had all season, and he's given them a little spark on offense as well.
Well, as far as Reggie Slack's concerned, I'm not impressed with his passing, but he must have heard me questioning his mobility last night, because he sure is running very, very well. 8 carries for 100 yards in the first half alone. It's interesting because a couple of years ago, Michael Ford, who's a very respectable orthopedic surgeon and used to be the Argos team doctor, he told me he warned Reggie Slack that he should never play again because of that wonky knee of his. He said he was endangering his health for life if he played. That's why you don't
listen to doctors all that much.
No, I'm going to tell you what, the guy that saved Reggie Slack's career is Dr. Wayne Marshall, the orthopedic that replaced Dr. Ford, and Wayne did a heck of a job on getting his knee back into playing condition.
Well, where was that guy when I was hurt?
You were too old. He only works on young guys.
Yeah, fix my finger.
You got the career going here. What are you worried about? You tell me you'd rather be on the field? Listen, about on the field and Saskatchewan's first touchdown, the play that led to it was the interference call. Rod Harris down near the end and Eddie Davis.
Well, I just kind of want to disagree with my buddy Glenn Suter for a quick second here. You know we're defensive pals. We don't disagree that often. But he said that this pass was uncatchable. And the reason why it was uncatchable is because the receiver stopped running. And this is the second time that this has happened to Saskatchewan receivers, that they have misjudged long passes. Now, if he had kept running, screw the interference call, it's a touchdown. You know, he stopped running right there. The ball is catchable if he had to continue to run, but he didn't. And then we got the interference call, and now they go in to score anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Did you hear that? Who's he cheering for?
Oh, man, did I say we? Did I say we? I'm talking
Who's he cheering for?
Hey, we're all a team here, all a team. Listen, Obi, there's been so much debate between Marty and Les about Reggie Slack and the quarterback stuff. I noticed you've been staying a little bit more quiet about all this, but tell me what you think of Reggie's half, so far, Reggie's game, and really the way things went in the second quarter.
I think the observation that Marty has made, I think Reggie has made up his mind going into this game that he was going to take off when the opportunity presented itself. In other words, if he didn't have somebody open downfield, and he's shown his athletic ability there. And Reggie's 225 pounds. He's a load. We saw him run over Coleman, so... you know, he's a good athlete. I think the other kid, Mason's probably a little quicker, but Reggie's good enough to move the ball.
Stop it and give Reggie all the credit.
Well, I'll tell you what, even Marty York is giving Reggie Slack some credit, and I think a lot of fans at Taylor Field have to be right now. With the halftime proceedings going on, they like what they see so far at Taylor Field, a 15-8 lead for the Roughriders over the Stamps. When we come back, we'll have a look back at what went on in Week 5. Stay tuned.
CFL Legends, brought to you by Advantage, providing solutions for business.
This sure-handed receiver played 14 seasons in the CFL. More on Terry Evanshan in a moment.
Ball on the Alouettes 10. The pitch to Blunt. He throws the touchdown toss to Darren Flutie. Wow. This is a wobbler. It'll be hard for right to field. Running in on the ball and recovered it. This kicker likes to stick his nose in there. McManus will throw. Looking for the touchdown. He's got it. That's Willie Bless into the end zone to celebrate a touchdown.
Clemens, the league leader in punt return yardage, and Casaglia booms it, sending Clemens back to the 12. But here comes the pinball around the corner. Waiting for a block. The pinball sprung free. Now waiting for one more block. Pinball in a foot race. Still going all the way down to the 33-yard line. Flutie gives it off to Robert Drummond. Great cut by Drummond, and here he goes. Drummond inside the 20 and down inside the 10 to about the 9-yard line. Robert Drummond with the cut on a dime and the gain of 32.
This is the best part, though. Look at this.
Yeah, that would be the part that would. Whoa!
I think.
Whoa! Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Second down. Crowley gets the charge from the backside. Escapes one.
Oh, what about those hits?
Oh, a whole lot of head cracking going on there, and that was week 5. Week 6 coming up. We'll be at Skydome. Yes, the panel going back to field level for the Argos in Montreal. What a game that'll be, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. And we've got later on Friday Night Football. Winnipeg at McMahon Stadium to meet the Stamps, and then Hamilton and BC at Ivor Wynne for you on a Saturday. Well, no doubt, one of the games of interest for sure is the Alouettes and the Toronto Argonauts after Montreal losing back-to-back, falling out of first in the East. Marty, a huge game for Montreal, especially at Skydome.
And I fear the worst for the Alouettes because after jumping off to a 3-0 start, they're in danger of falling to 3-3 now. And remember, it was the Argos that just walloped the Alouettes at the Skydome in that playoff game last year. I think it was 46-7. But I'll tell you what I'm really interested in is seeing we're going to field level for this game. I can't wait to see how the fans greet Bob Avilovich when he returns to field level at the Skydome. You think they'll shower him with booze or what?
They'll roll out the red carpet like they did, Saskatchewan did for you?
No.
No talk about Obi doing the ceremonial kickoff or anything like that, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm sure I do better, though.
Hey, no doubt, no doubt. By the way, that same night, Saskatchewan is playing at Commonwealth Stadium. Big game. One of Saskatchewan's losses this year coming to the Eskimos. The way Edmonton looked in Montreal, definitely, well, I guess aside from the Argos, those two teams, the teams to reckon with in the Canadian Football League, winning on the road, improving to 4-1.
It should be a big week next week in football for CFL, I tell you. And Montreal and the Montreal-Toronto game, that should be a jam-packed house. I'm not trying to hint around to anything that's going to happen in Toronto, but you fans ought to get out there and see this, because this might be the Eastern Final again, a matchup that I think that Montreal's going to take very seriously.
Big challenge for fans at Skydome. We were their appearance at Taylor Field, and they did it upright in Regina. Big crowd there, and pretty happy crowd right now at Taylor Field, looking at their Roughriders leading by a touchdown over the Calgary Stampeders. 15-8 the score. We'll be back with more CFL Live after this on TSN. Welcome back to CFL Live. Things didn't look too good for Reggie Slack after he threw an interception, but with the help of some calls, a little help from his friends, he's had a pretty good first half. Let's look at the numbers now with John and Glenn, guys.
Well, as I said during the telecast when my partner wasn't listening to me, who is Kevin Mason?
I'm sorry for not listening for the first, but Kevin Mason is the young guy waiting in the wings.
And who knows, he may get into this thing before it's over. But Reggie Slack runs for 103 yards. Another big part of the story is Profale Greer.
Certainly is. I mean, there's the numbers from the first half. Time of possession favoring Saskatchewan. Jeff Garcia really hasn't seen much of the field, but Profale Greer has been a big story. He has over 100 yards in returns so far this afternoon. And, you know, when he was in college at Utah State, he averaged close to 35 yards a return on kickoffs and had a few touchdowns. So he can get it done, and he's showing it today.
Yeah, well, he helped the Roughriders offensively coming out of the backfield as well.
He certainly does, and I've talked about it a little bit in the first half. He provides the quickness through the hole. I mean, when Robert Mims runs the ball, he usually cuts back. So as a defender, you slow play that a little bit and wait for him to come to you. But when it's Profale Greer, that's a speed guy. He hits that hole, and you got to go chase him.
Good first half for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but the Stampeders aren't that far behind. Second half coming up after an update from TSN Control with Gino Reda. Back at Taylor Field, Regina for CFL Live. Second half coming up. Well, the Roughriders on top, 15-8. It was a slow start this afternoon, but the Roughriders managed to come back and take the lead after Calgary scored the first touchdown. Second half underway. Bouncing to Kelvin Anderson. And a big hole opens up the sideline. Anderson had clear sailing right out to the 45, but there's a flag back at the 30-yard line. Kelvin Anderson out of the backfield had just 3 carries in the first half, and 2 were for losses. So the Stampeder running game was not very effective.
Holding, Calgary number 95, first down.
Ray Bernard?
Ray Bernard.
Yeah, he got called on holding. I believe it was on Dale Joseph. I think he held him and threw him out of bounds. And that was exactly at the point of attack where Kelvin Anderson was running the football.
So we'll see if the Stampeders can get the running game going. Beginning back at the 20-yard line as a result of the penalty. They try with Anderson, and again, the Roughriders equal to the challenge. LeBrian Robinson
John Kropke also on the bottom of the pile.
That was the focus of the defense for Saskatchewan this week, was to stop the run. Kelvin Anderson, he had a good day last week, and LeBron Robinson key in that because he lines up right in the middle, demands a double team, and if he gets pushed out of there, that's where the holes are created.
Anderson managed just 2, 2nd and 8. Garcia will put it up, comes to the near side. Vince Danielson. And good effort by Danielson to get close to that first down marker. They'll look for a good spot, those Stampeders.
Danielson brought down by
Danielson is up at the top of your screen right here. He just finds the hole. It'll be out in the flat in this area because of the zone. You see how Saskatchewan defenders, Dale Joseph is off him, and so is Vincent Donaldson. So he just sits it down on the outside, picks up what's very close to a first down. And
This
got
is
a good
how close
spot
it
out of
is.
Yeah. They got a good spot. It should be only a few inches away.
As close as we can get to the old Wilson. They're about, what, 5 inches shy? Wally says, we'll go. Why not?
Well, the only way that Wally can't get this first down is if there's a problem with the exchange at center, because it's going to be a sneak from Jeff Garcia, and the defense having to line a yard off the ball. It's pretty much guaranteed that you're going to get a couple of inches on this, but the only variable is that snap from center to quarterback.
Third down and inches. And a slight delay here. I'm not sure what the problem was. Dick Ireland whistles it in. I don't see a marker anywhere. It'll be first down, Calgary.
It's first down.
Garcia tossed for 1 touchdown in the opening half. 9 of 14, 124 yards, no interceptions. Reggie Slack ran the ball more effectively than he passed it. Good on just 6 of 14 for 64 yards. He had 1 interception that led to that Calgary touchdown. Here's the blitz. Moore makes the catch as Garcia got it away in time.
You know, Garcia 9 for 14 in the first half, but really didn't have the football that much. Time of possession was lopsided a bit for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, so Garcia didn't get a chance to put together some long drives. You know, when he threw that scoring the touchdown strike to Travis Moore, that was
on the first play.
Yeah, 1 play after an interception from Eddie Davis, so he hasn't had a chance to really even get into a rhythm in this game yet.
Vincent Donaldson is the injured Saskatchewan Roughrider.
He came up on the tackle the last play. Take a look at it here. Dale Joseph's coming up. This is Vincent Donaldson. Dale Joseph's coming up from the inside. Donaldson from the out. Travis Moore catches the football, and looks like the pile just rolls on Vincent Donaldson's ankle.
Injury timeout at Taylor Field in Regina. The Riders on top, 15-8. You're watching CFL Live. CFL Live from Regina. A rare Saturday afternoon at Taylor Field. A light breeze. Just trying to spot your name on one of those flags. Number 27, wasn't it?
The 27's being used. Robert Mims has it.
I thought they retired that. No. Stampeders looking at 2nd and 6 at the 35. Roughriders have adjusted Ryan Carey into the secondary with Donaldson on the sidelines. Vince Danielson has a first down. Calgary out across the 50. So what they've done is move Jason Mallett to the corner and Ryan Carey in at safety.
Jason Mallett played the safety to start the game. He goes to corner. Ryan Carey will play, and the reason they do that is so that Bryce Bevel, who's the nickel back, can stay at nickel, and only 1 change is made. Mallett to safety, or excuse me, to corner.
16 yards for Calgary. Stamps closing in on midfield with a first down here. Kelvin Anderson, he has not had much success with the football out of the backfield today.
Kelvin Anderson.
Kropke and Alexander met him that time. 5 carries for 7 yards for number 32. Different story than a week ago.
Well, Kropke's right here. Troy Alexander's right here. And they were watching the film and told me that it was cut back that Kelvin Anderson likes to do. And you saw him try and cut back to the weak side, but 46, 38, and 75 for the green. We're standing right there.
Anderson, 1,068 yards rushing a year ago. Garcia on second down. Avoided the early pressure from Jurison. Got a good block on Kropke to escape, but he's still short of the first down.
With the ball.
And good coverage downfield from a secondary that's had to make a change with Vincent Donaldson out because Jeff Garcia really couldn't find anyone. He was rolling out to the outside. Dale Joseph's the one who pushes him out of bounds on the play. He's a good cover man, Dale Joseph. That's his strong point. He covers well in man-to-man defense. He's about 6'1". Pretty good speed, and he has a sack. Had a sack last week versus the Calgary Stampeders.
Tony Martino is winning the punter's duel at Taylor Field today. Profile Greer is leading the return game, but nowhere to go this time. Wrapped up quickly by Aldi Henry, the new Stampeder. 39-yard punt, -2 on the return. It's still Saskatchewan by a touchdown. Saskatchewan's Jim Daly has the lead right now. We asked him to assess his offense after 4 games.
It's too early in the season to get a real good read on everything, but we are gradually getting acquainted with each other with whatever number of changes we have. I think we have 18 on our roster, and 7 starters on defense has changed and all that stuff. But we're gradually falling into place, and we have a very confident group as to where we think we're going to go with this team.
Speaking of speed, there's Profile Greer again. Nice move to get out of the backfield.
Well, I think any question for Jim Daly has really all been on the offensive side of the football. He has to be happy with the way his defense has been playing, but he's had a couple of quarterbacks play throughout this season, and Slack and, of course, Kevin Mason, so I think that's where his question marks have been.
Greer picked up 6, 2nd and 4, Saskatchewan. At the Roughrider 20-yard line. It's the Riders by a touchdown. Greer. They were waiting for him that time. Fool me once, fool me twice, but that play had worked earlier.
Ball carrier is Profile Greer.
Well, that's how you got to stop a guy who's got the quick speed in the backfield. You got to just stand up your man as a defensive line like Marvin Pope did on that play so that Greer can't get a seam and pop it. You're going to see the defensive line for Calgary just stand up their men, keep their ground, and then Darryl Hall folds underneath, and then Marvin Pope also slides down underneath. So you don't allow a seam. If he hits a seam with that speed, he's gone.
McCallum at his 5-yard line. Stampeders will come out of this with good field position. McCallum's kick is not deep, only out to about the Saskatchewan 50. Vaughn on the return draws a flag.
And the marker on the play.
So Garcia has a pretty good opportunity here to march toward the end zone. 33-yard punt. 2 on the return, and add a little bit for penalty. No doubt where Garcia likes to go. Left side. 7 of 10.
And we may see that change to a little more over on the right side of the field as well, because that change in there, Vincent Donaldson's still out of the football game.
Interesting observation, partner.
Yeah.
Donaldson still being attended to. They retaped his ankle once on the sidelines, and they're trying it again.
They didn't have enough tape. They need to go get some more tape and try again.
Test for the Saskatchewan defense here. Calgary set up at the 35. Garcia. No one home.
This is something that Jeff Garcia did well last week versus Saskatchewan, and that was to make the smart play and not to force things. He even said it in the paper in Calgary during the week. He said, I think the difference between last week and earlier in the season was that I was forcing too much, and he didn't have a lot of passing yardage last week, but he made good decisions. He didn't give up the football, and he didn't force the football.
He's had a couple of 300-yard games. Looking at 2nd and 10 at the 36 here. No catch. Vince Danielson says he had it. Number 42 in the stripes said no catch.
You know, to go back to that point, you know, Vince Danielson can't catch that pass in the flat, and Jeff Garcia one-hops it to him, but Jeff Garcia is, you see him right here, he's the inside guy, just going to run out into the flat. These guys are all dropping off, so it's going to be the open area, but it's the long throw. You can't get it out there. I don't know, though. Like he got his arms under that one. Regardless, it would have been short of the field goal, or short of the first down, but now Calgary has a chance to kick a field goal, where Garcia early in the season may have tried to force that. Could have been a turnover. They get no chance for points.
After a tough start to this season, Mark McLaughlin good on 5 of 5 last week. He's wide here. Greer in the end zone. Making his decision.
Greer in the end zone.
One more for the Calgary Stampeders. So the lead is less than a touchdown now.
What's interesting about Mark McLaughlin, he went 5 for 5 last week, and it was the first game he wore contact lenses. It's in the newspaper that Mark McLaughlin, you see his numbers from last season, 80%. This season obviously dropped way off, but last week going into the game, he puts contact lenses in for the first time in his career and goes 5 for 5. So I'm thinking he couldn't see the uprights beginning of the season.
Obviously, something helped him last week.
It's nice
5, but maybe he's got a dirty contact here this afternoon. He missed that one.
Well, it's nice to see him out of his slump.
Mark, you have to clean those contacts. Slack to his right on first down. We're into tight coverage down there. Mayfield couldn't hang on. Coverage by William Hampton, who lost a couple of early battles with Curtis Mayfield and has won, I think, the last 2.
William Hampton's done a super job replacing Al Jordan. I mean, he's got an interception. Last week, he pitched the shutout against the Roughriders. He didn't really give up one catch throughout the whole game. Wally Buono's real happy to have him to be able to have a little depth in defensive back position.
Replacing an All-Canadian on the corner in Al Jordan.
Exactly.
2nd and 10. Here's the heat. There goes Slack. Got it away, but he was rolled over. Marvin Pope came through. Slack didn't have much of a chance to get it away. So Slack's passing numbers are not all that impressive.
Marvin Pope is right up in here. He's the one who's going to get pressure on Reggie Slack. No one blocks Pope, and I got a little bit of advice for the Saskatchewan Roughriders offensive scheme. Better block Pope. 91, you can't let him go free.
Slack, 7 of 17, just 70 yards.
Obviously a miscue up front for Saskatchewan.
Better kick for McCallum. Bailey returning. Number 85, Fred Bailey, is wrapped up in a hurry. Serchinski was there. And Rick Walters. Garcia does a head count. Decent place to begin on the CFL Live when the Stampeders next gets their hands on the ball. Calgary quarterback Jeff Garcia had a better start a year ago. 9 touchdowns compared to 6. And about 500 yards ahead a year ago. You know, the totals today, and that's right up to date.
You know, that's a slow start. Slow start for Jeff Garcia, but expectations awfully high for him because he's still on pace to have over 4,000 yards passing this year.
Nice fake, finds Bond. At the 31-yard line. Stamps will be shy of the first down by about 4. Good time to go to the hurry-up offense here.
Well, we saw last night, Winnipeg and Hamilton game. That's really the only time that Chris Vargas had any success. So maybe Wally Buono watched that game and thought, let's try some hurry-up in the second half.
Enough for the first down as Danielson makes the catch.
Pass is good.
Bevel and Williams wrap him up. Haven't talked about KD a whole bunch today, have we?
KD's been kind of quiet, which is almost unheard of for him.
Indication first down.
Got a nice look.
35.
You know, now he's been playing with cracked ribs. He's got a flak jacket on around him. His own teammate, Lamar McGriggs, got him in the ribs 2 games ago, and he's played 2 games now with the cracked ribs.
On first down, blitz was on. Garcia heard it for Vaughn. Terry Vaughn blowing outside on the toss there.
Second and 10
from Garcia. 6:53 to go to 3/4 time.
Well, that's, sorry, John, that's twice now that Garcia's gone to the right side of the football, or of the field. Jason Mallett out there. Vincent Donaldson still on the sideline.
From the 35, 2nd and 10, Calgary goes to the other side and no catch. Fred Bailey had it and dropped it.
Fred Bailey's usually the 6th receiver, or excuse me, the 5th receiver. He's the middle guy here, and he's just going to run a straight curl pattern in man-to-man coverage on Tyrell Almer, and he does a nice job. Tyrell Almer giving him lots of respect for his speed, just doesn't come up with the catch.
So Tony Martino steps in again. Slight delay now with Ulmer down near the 40-yard line. Rough day on members of that Saskatchewan secondary. 8th punt coming up for Tony Martino. Little baseball on TSN tonight. Expos Astros beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Did you see the Rodriguez grand slam the other night in the 9th inning?
I was probably in a plane.
Might be a pretty good bet. All right, slide it in here.
You know what? I promised Danny Barrett that I would say happy birthday to his son Zachary, who turns 3 today. So happy birthday to Zachary. And I got my message in for Danny Barrett.
And Dad's bringing home, Zachary, a whole bunch of presents.
Uh-oh, now I got to go tell him that. I got to go tell him that now.
There was some talk that Danny might be back in this Calgary lineup, and I don't know if they were overblowing it a little bit. He was listed sort of as the emergency quarterback if they ran into problems of that nature.
Yeah.
But when the Stamps were 0-3, of course, the speculation was that he might be hurried back, or maybe the emergency was already there.
Well, you know, any injury to either Jeff Garcia or Dave Dickinson, and Danny Barrett would likely dress. He stays in shape, he keeps working out, and he said he's ready to play if he's called upon. So be interesting to see him back in the Calgary uniform.
Martino, high and deep. Rod Harris waits at the 30. Good move to get away from one. Harris tries to cut it up, but he ran into a swarm right there. Aldi Henry on special teams limited the gain to 2 yards after a 46-yard punt. Curtis Mayfield, 963 yards, 6 touchdowns a year ago.
Big part this year. BC game and Toronto late in the game. Mayfield came up with a big touchdown catch. Get the Riders back in that one. They end up winning, and then against the Toronto Argonauts, again in the 4th quarter, Mayfield comes up with a huge catch going deep again. He's got the big average, 26 yards a catch. A couple touchdowns, some big ones too.
Interesting when you look at those games. Big plays by Mayfield. Saskatchewan comes away with a victory. Mayfield was pretty quiet last week. 2 catches for 5 yards. Calgary wins.
Well, part of the reason for that was William Hampson. He did a good job of covering Mayfield last week, and he's doing a pretty good job, as you can see here today.
Mayfield did have the edge early, but Hampton has closed the gap. We'll watch this matchup a little bit. 2nd and 10, Saskatchewan at the 31. Slack getting some heat, eluding it, and he dumped it off for Walters. Just got rid of it in time.
Stacey Evans hits Reggie Slack right at the end of the play, and a little bit of a frustration hit probably for him because he's replaced Ernie Brown in the lineup, played for the Rhine Fire and in Ottawa for 8 games last year, getting a chance to play, and he has to chase Reggie Slack all the way to the outside of the field. Hasn't really been back in the backfield too often and hasn't played yet this year, so he decides once I got my hands on him, I might as well drag him down.
2 and out, Saskatchewan. 5:09 to go in the 3rd quarter. McCallum in again, kicking into the breeze at Taylor Field. 1 bounce, 2 bounces. Well, it stops right on the ground for Vaughn. He didn't draw a flag, but managed a pretty nifty return of 7 yards after a 33-yard punt.
Gary Vaughn, number 2.
Kelvin Anderson averaging 4.2 yards a carry coming into this, but that average will take a beating today. 5 carries for 7 yards, Kelvin Anderson.
Well, in the first half, he had like three carries and 2 were for losses.
So based on those numbers I just gave you, what is his average now?
Okay, hang on. You're going to have to give me about 3 quarters to figure that out. It's got to go into overtime if you want an answer there.
Stampeders trail by 6. They really haven't been able to get a solid march going in the 2nd half yet. Now would be a good time for Garcia to start. He doesn't get a chance. Jurison was all over him. 3rd sack of the year for Jurison. 135th career. And he moves a little closer up the old-time ladder.
Bobby Jurison just comes right off the corner. No one blocks him. Chris Burns blocks down, and Bobby Jurison is free.
What's another name for Taylor Field? How about Jurasac Park?
He'd like that.
Garcia found Vaughn. He was in trouble and escaped.
Garcia complete to Terry Vaughn. It's a 1st down.
Terry Vaughn is the top receiver up here. He's going to come across the middle, and he sees his quarterback in trouble a little bit as Garcia runs around in the pocket, and then he'll start waving, "Hey, I'm open. Give me the rock." Garcia heard him and throws it to him.
Stampeders at the Roughriders 39.5. 1st and 10. Shotgun Garcia. Time to throw. He fired high for Vince Danielson. Dale Joseph was covering.
Jeff Garcia has completely abandoned the running game. I mean, he is down, but it's not by a whole lot. A 15-9 score, it's only 6 points, and Garcia has abandoned giving the ball to Kelvin Anderson.
Still a light rain falling over Taylor Field. Second and 10, Stampeders. Big sequence here for Calgary. Lots of time to go with 3:05 to go in the 3rd quarter. Garcia can't get it away. He does. Danielson took an underhanded pass from Garcia.
Boy, what a play.
Bevel was all over him, and Garcia found it a way to shovel it ahead underhand.
This is not coachable. This is athletic ability from Jeff Garcia, because you're going to see the blitz from Bryce Bevel. He's the nickel back on the play. He's going to come in from the outside, and he's the one who chases down Garcia. There's number 30. Now watch him chase down. How does he get this one off?
Should have been down there, but he found a way.
What a play. What an athletic effort from Jeff Garcia.
Actually, Danielson makes a pretty nice play on it to go down deep and pick it up. So the Stampeder drive continues now at the Saskatchewan 29, 1st down. 2:13 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Roughriders leading 15-9. Bailey Bailey made the catch. He was wrapped up by Ulmer in a hurry. First catch for Fred Bailey.
Well, with Jeff Garcia banning the running game, you know you're going to see more stunts and blitzes from the Saskatchewan Roughrider defense. So that was a hot read for Garcia, meaning that he saw the blitz coming and just dumped it off to Fred Bailey. But you're going to see a lot more blitzes coming from Saskatchewan if they don't have to worry about run anymore from Jeff Garcia.
Second and 6, big down for the Stampeders. Garcia under the cover, has Danielson again. He's out at the 10-yard line.
Garcia did a great job of looking right at Bryce Bevel and freezing him. When you're dropping as a defensive back, you're trying to read the quarterback's head and eyes, tell him where you're going to throw. Right now, Jeff Garcia is looking straight at Bryce Bevel, number 30, and when he did that, it froze Bryce Bevel right in his spot, and that allowed Danielson to work to the outside and get open.
With Benson Donaldson out with a sprained foot, available only on an emergency basis, Garcia is working in the area. Here on first down, marker down, Bailey's in the end zone. Stampeders are celebrating, and we await the official call on the infraction.
Offside, Saskatchewan number 21.
Touchdown.
Decline, touchdown.
An 8-yard touchdown toss from Garcia to Fred Bailey. And Calgary is even. 15-15 with a convert to come.
It was a good call. You see K.D. Williams and Henry Newby coming on the blitz. That means man-to-man behind it. When you get man-to-man, you see Bryce Bevel and Tyrell Ulmer standing right beside Vince Danielson. Danielson had come in and run a rub play. In other words, taking his defensive back coverage in there with them. They couldn't get off it. Bailey's wide open.
And Bailey's taking that football home with him. Stampeders into the lead at 16-15 into the final minute now, third quarter.
Ladies, Bladder 10 to 17, Daniel Roughrider women's medal.
It's a hard-fought touchdown for Calgary. It took a long time to get.
And you think back to the key play where Jeff Garcia does the underhand pass to Vince Danielson with Bevel on his shoulders. I mean, that keeps the drive alive, and now they're in the end zone.
Fred Bailey with the touchdown to give Calgary the lead. This is the TSN turning point on the drive.
I think so. This is quite a play by Jeff Garcia, and it keeps this drive alive and gives Calgary an opportunity to get it in the end zone. But without that athletic effort from Jeff Garcia, that drive stops there, and now it's field goal. As it turns out, Calgary comes away with 7.
And regains the lead, 16-15, as McLaughlin gets set to kick it off. Stampeders 1-3 coming into the game. Saskatchewan 2-2, so a Calgary win, and those two teams are even. Saskatchewan win, and the Roughriders put a little distance between the two rivals. Profale Greer has been dangerous every time he's touched the football. Chris Lewis forced him out there. 7 plays to cover 57 yards. Bailey into the end zone on an 8-yard toss from Jeff Garcia. It took 3:54.
That's really the first sustained drive that Garcia's had. And, you know, you get some changes in the secondary for Saskatchewan. It simplifies the defense. Now with new guys in there, you don't want to run too many fancy coverages. You just stay pretty plain Jane, and Garcia took advantage of it.
That's what I was saying. The touchdown was a long time coming because the Stampeders scored on one quick play and then had several drives prior to that one where nothing happened at all, and it was 2 and out. So Garcia finally found a way. Perhaps the injury to Benson Donaldson provided him with an area to exploit. Injured Saskatchewan Roughrider. That's why we're in timeout mode at Taylor Field.
John Daniels was hurt on the kick return for Profale Greer, but
looking ahead to next week in the CFL, the Alouettes and the Argonauts at Skydome. Flutie and company. Friday night football, Winnipeg at Calgary. And the Bombers will be a little snarly. A apparently the panel's coming to Skydome. Are you with me for that one?
I'm going to be there, I believe, at Skydome for that game. And so
they'll be in the basement, I'm sure.
We're bringing in the tent, the Skydome for the panel. The big top's up. Skydome.
Calgary chasing Saskatchewan in the CFL West for third spot. The Edmonton Eskimos moving in front with that victory over the Alouettes. In fact, back-to-back wins over Montreal vaults Edmonton into top spot, and BC unable to control the Argonauts. Now, this was fun last night, just watching Don Southern finally get the victory. Tiger Cats deserved it. It was a wacky football game.
Yeah, you think back to a couple of calls, and you never know. Winnipeg had a call, interception by Colin Scribner that they didn't get. It was a missed call by the official, but you're right, John. Hamilton,
you're still angry about that.
Well, I mean, it was a key part of the game, and
it was. You're right.
And it was missed, but full credit to Don Southern and the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who did win that game and deserved to. And definitely outplayed Winnipeg offensively.
Well, Vargas threw 5 interceptions, 6 by the Bomber quarterback.
Certainly deserved to win the game, and boy, does that tighten things up, because Winnipeg and Hamilton now right there fighting together and get Montreal in a couple of games.
What are you thinking of your Reggie Slack right now, out over the ball, completing 8 of 19 for 70 yards through 3 quarters of football?
I think I'm going to run.
Well, when he ran, he picked up 100 yards in the first half. Throwing on the run. And he has contact. Rick Walters made the catch. Stampeders say no catch, or at least Coleman is indicating that.
Well, they're giving it to him.
The sticks, but I thought the official ruled Walters held on to the football.
Well, Rick Walters had a cramp earlier in the game in his back end and came up with a big catch there because he had Eddie Davis strapped all over his back.
For Saskatchewan, that's the first down of the second half. They go to the 6 receiver set. Slack swings it out to Narcisse, who slants in.
Caught by Don Narcisse.
Dwayne Patterson made the tackle.
Great speed by Dwayne Patterson.
Stop was made by...
Boy, he flew out there and made a tackle after rushing the quarterback.
That'll be the final play of quarter number 3, with the Stampeders on top by a point at 16-15. As we send you back to CFL Live Control.
The Saskatchewan Dairy Foundation is pleased to bring you.
Welcome back, CFL Live after 3. Rod Smith along with Obi, Les, and Marty, and certainly a momentum change in this football game in that third quarter. More pressure on Reggie Slack, but Jeff Garcia getting it done, and frustrating our defensive expert Les Brown the way Saskatchewan is playing him defensively.
Well, what's frustrating me is the way the secondary is playing in this. You know, Saskatchewan's defensive line is putting a lot of pressure on, and they're playing off big time. They're not even coming up and making hits like they should. We had a play here where they're throwing the ball out into the flat, and Danielson makes the catch. It's 2nd and 10, say. The guy makes the catch. The defensive back, Del Joseph, stands there, waits for him to make something happen instead of making it happen. Now he gains 3 yards after the catch, and it's only like less than a yard short. Now they do it the very next time around, the very next play. They come out, they throw another pass out to the flat, and they do it perfect. They come up, make the tackle. There is no yards gained after this catch. And this is what it should be done, the way it should be done after every play. Don't wait for it to happen. Make it happen.
So that's on one side of the football. On the other side, Reggie Slack, well, he had to run before because there was so much pressure on him, but, Obi, they're continuing to get a lot of heat on Reggie.
Well, I think that's going to the credit of the Calgary defense. What they're doing is they're giving him some different looks. When he empties out the backfield, they're bringing people up on the line, and they're causing overloads up on the front line of scrimmage where you're getting like 6 guys going against 5 guys on offense. And if you look right here, the backs are out of the backfield, and you'll see there's 6 Calgary rushers, and there's only 5 linemen, and there's a guy that's free to pick them up. So that's what's causing a lot of problems for Reggie.
Bob, I said after the first quarter that Slack was finally using Mayfield effectively. He had thrown 2 passes to him in the first quarter. He hasn't thrown a pass to him since. He's thrown 1 pass to his other wideout, Narcisse, and that was the last play of the last the last quarter. So I really think that if they want to win this game, they have to start using their wide receivers.
Well, Stamps have certainly got it going in that third quarter to take a 1-point lead. So close. Heading to the fourth. Let's head back to Taylor Field now for that final quarter. Once again, John Wells and Glenn Suter.
And you're just in time. Saskatchewan. 2nd down and 5. Reggie Slack was 5 for 7 with a good start early. He is now 10 for 21. He's cooled off considerably. And that was whistled down as Anderson moved a little quickly.
I'm not sure if it was Anderson moved, but he was the second Calgary Stampeder, I believe, that was in the neutral zone.
Offside. Calgary number 92. Still 2nd down.
Steve Anderson.
They definitely saw Anderson. There's a couple of them in there.
10 penalties against the Stampeders now. The numbers through 3 quarters. Stamps have moved the football 227 through the air compared to 84.
That's what amazes me. 84 passing yards, but Saskatchewan still has the time of possession edge.
The quarterback, Slack.
On 2nd down, about a yard to go. Slack gets a first down. Saskatchewan. It's time for this Rough Rider offense to try and get something going. And I'm wondering, when you hear Slack's numbers like that, is Jim Daly thinking of going to this guy?
Well, I don't think so right now. I mean, it's only a 1-point game, and Reggie Slack, although he hasn't thrown the ball real well this game, has run it well and moved the football, kept the sticks going. So I think he'll leave him in there for a while anyway.
From the shotgun, he swings it to Greer, off his hands and on the turf. Should have popped the football.
Well, you see, we just talked about Reggie Slack having trouble throwing the ball, but that goes down in the stats as an incompletion for 17. It should go down as a drop
for number 1.
Yeah.
Wally Buono was figuring that he was going to face both quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a little wishful thinking, because if you face both, that means one guy is struggling a little bit.
Yeah, means the first one didn't get anything done.
Slack, when he ran, he was successful, and he's halfway to a first down there. Coleman comes up to make the stop.
He's getting up slowly. Reggie Slack took a pretty big hit after that play was over.
They met earlier, and Coleman came out on the worst end of the exchange.
Coleman came up, and Reggie Slack got up real slow after that one, because Coleman came up and put a pretty good stick on the quarterback.
Riders short of the first down. Slack has 112 rushing yards as of right now. 13-11 to go, 4th quarter. Rough Riders will go for the lead here. Mason will pin for a McCallum field goal from 52 yards away.
His career longest is 55.
Watts on this. He's got it. You know, when you watch the officials down there, they look at each other. A field goal.
Yeah.
They try and do it in unison. I don't know what they're waiting for, but they wait a long time before they say it's good. Just trying to get both hands in the air at the same time. Saskatchewan in the lead. Great cause, and the CFL is behind this, so if you'd like to contribute, the number is on your screen, 1-888-D-MARROW. That's 362-7769.
There's the whistle.
He got behind this one. Brett Bailey to return. McCallum's kick. Well covered by Saskatchewan special team. Off the land. Limited the gain to 25 after a 75-yard kickoff. Jeff Garcia rolled for a touchdown a few moments ago to give the Calgary Stampeders the lead once more in 18-16.
And John, guess who's warming up?
Well, Slack is hurt on the Saskatchewan bench.
He took that hit from Marvin Coleman, and he's got the ice pack on his neck right now.
Garcia and the Stampeders beginning at the 25. This hasn't worked all afternoon. The running of Kelvin Anderson, curtailed again by LeBryant Robinson.
Well, Kelvin Anderson, had he gone to the field side of this play, would have had a big hole, but he likes to cut back, especially against Saskatchewan. He tried to there and got nothing.
6 carries for Anderson, 10 yards total. Shotgun for Garcia. He has to put it up. Danielson has been reliable. He'll have a first down. Got away from.
Garcia's pass is good over there to Vince.
When you're the corner,
Jason Mallett. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. When you're the corner and Jason Mallett has replaced Vincent Donaldson in this game, you have to know when you come up to make a tackle on a running back, he's up there, or a receiver, you got to stay outside because all your friends are coming from the inside to help you on the tackle. Jason Mallett doesn't do it. He comes to the inside. Danielson gets outside him.
And Danielson picks up 16. Stampeders out at the 44. Wayne Ford, first catch of the day. First time he's touched the football.
He had a big catch similar to that last week versus Saskatchewan as well. And all that's happening is Dwayne Ford, who usually lines up off the tackle just to help block certain stunts, just releases down the football field, and Saskatchewan linebackers don't widen out to pick him up.
Dwayne Ford's Calgary's first-round pick in 1991. Grabs 18 there. Garcia on a bit of a roll. That's 3 for 3.
What a pattern from Travis Moore. Dale Joseph is one of the best cover men Saskatchewan Roughriders have, and Travis Moore had him one-on-one. Here's the matchup. Moore on Donaldson, on Dale Joseph, excuse me. Now watch the post move here. Quick post move, back to the corner. Dale Joseph is frozen.
22-yard gain quickly. The Stampeders are at the Saskatchewan 25, first down. Garcia 4 for 4 on this drive, and Vaughn fights his way inside the 10. Great run after he made the catch. Markers are down.
I think Jay McNeil's going to get a late hit.
It would be a 17-yard gain.
I saw Jay McNeil's arms go flying forward, and I saw Tyrell Ulmer, number 2, go about 4 yards right as that play was ending.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Calgary number 50, first down.
Good eyes.
Wally Bono had a good play set up to Terry Vaughn. It was well blocked up front by Jamie Crysdale and Jay McNeil, who took off, and then Jay McNeil coming back. There's Tyrell Ulmer. Now coming in from the right of your screen will be Jay McNeil right there. Play was over.
No call for that. It's still a Calgary first down, but back now near the 23. Shotgun, Garcia. Looking deep, he won't get it away. He's nailed. Oh, Alexander was there. 5th sack of the year for Alexander. Bobby Jurison wasn't far behind.
Bobby Jurison came from the outside, and he's at the top of the line. Randy Skorsinski's coming from the outside as well, and watch the hit.
Now you see, I'm Garcia, and I'm standing there. I got Alexander on one side.
Yeah, he's got nowhere to go.
I mean, he couldn't get down fast enough. Stampeders look for a timeout as the crowd gets a little loud here. So what's the quarterback thinking with those two guys going in on him?
Well, I'm sure he's just trying to get his senses right now because he took a huge hit. He really had nowhere to go, couldn't get his arm up to even throw the ball, so he wants to go and check things out with Tony Marciano, the offensive coordinator, and Danny Barrett. But what a hit by Troy Alexander. Let's take one more look at that hit, because you know you're getting hit hard when both guys' feet are planted on the ground, and you see, watch the head of Jeff Garcia as he gets hit. Here comes Alexander right through here. Now watch Jeff Garcia's head right there. Snap back up. When your head snaps like that, that's a hard hit.
Fourth sack of the game for Saskatchewan. 13 on the season. Stamps looking at second and a bunch. It's second and 18. Garcia rears back and throws. Bevel covering in the end zone. No interference, no catch. Williams was through, and Travis Moore, the intended receiver, but KD added a little heat that time.
Nice job by KD Williams. First of all, to bait Garcia into thinking that he was covering on the play. He was talking away to Garcia. He's right up at the top, and just before this play starts, he was talking. Then he takes off and comes on the blitz, and he's going to hit Garcia just as he delivers the football. And then good coverage downfield by Bryce Bevel, who doesn't get the interference call because he turns back and fronts the ball.
Stampeders, as a result of back-to-back giant plays by the Saskatchewan defense, settled for a field goal attempt here. Martino holding. McLaughlin puts it through. And Calgary back on top by a point. 19-18. Wally really wanted a touchdown, however. Well, we finally heard from KD Williams with a little pressure on Garcia.
Well, we heard from him through action, and then we also saw Jeff Garcia also heard from him verbally.
What did he say?
One thing about KD Williams is that after he makes a play, he's going to describe it to you.
That's pretty funny sequence. Here's Profile Greer. He's been brilliant this afternoon, and again here. Instant field position, this guy. Hall made the tackle out near the 50. 32-yard return. Change of quarterback. Slack is hurt. Mason comes in. Mason came in last week in Calgary. Slack wasn't hurt. He brought the Roughriders back a week ago. Not quite to victory, but got them close.
And Kevin Mason last week had over 100 yards receiving, called back from penalties. Had he had those 100 yards, who knows what would have happened in that game. He really did good. And Wally Buono had nothing but good things to say about Kevin Mason after that football game.
So we'll see what Mason can do. He's down by a point. Has 8 minutes, 32 seconds on the clock in the fourth quarter. Good fake on the pitch. Mason throwing on the run. And he gets a cheer for this. Curtis Mayfield coming back to make the catch. He looked cool, didn't he?
Oh, when you want to talk about the strength of a guy's arm, Kevin Mason sidearmed that ball, and he sidearmed it on a rope. Little play action fake on the toss, and then he boots out of there. Watch how he throws this one with Darryl Hall in his face. Just sidearms and gets hit while he's doing it. Still delivers a strike.
The gain is 8, 2nd and 2, Saskatchewan. Just across midfield. Riders having a difficult time with their alignment out there. They're a man short, I believe. Someone tried to get on.
Certainly are.
Mason has 2 Stampeders all over him. Somehow he found a way to escape. He's got the first down. He's to the 40-yard line. This is brilliant stuff. Takes a hit at the 35. Were there really just 11 man on the field out there?
Yeah.
And he pulls this off, an 18-yard gain.
Kevin Mason made this up as he went along. That play was designed to go to Profile Greer around the right side. Scott Henderson had pulled, and then when Mason realized he didn't have the extra guy, he pulled it out of there and then just did this all on his own. Now, what Jim Daly doesn't want him to do is take a hit like that from Marvin Coleman.
Coleman's the guy that put Slack out of the game.
That's right. He only's got one quarterback left.
First down, Saskatchewan. Profile Greer. And not much there that time. Raymond Biggs was there for the tackle.
John Terry doing a little pushing with Anthony McLennan after the play. You heard get out of there. That came from the Saskatchewan bench, because after a couple of big plays by Kevin Mason, Saskatchewan does not want a penalty to take them out of field goal position.
Saskatchewan has been shuffling a lot of people in and out of the offensive lineup with Greer in there today. And then when they go to the 6 receiver set, they have Ricky Walters in.
Yeah.
2nd and 9. Kevin Mason now at the controls for Saskatchewan. Great toss. Farthing made the catch, and that's on a rope, isn't it?
It is, and a good pattern by Farthing to get inside position in man-to-man. When you're covering man, you want to try and take the inside away. Here's Dan Farthing. You're going to get this inside curl route, and watch the coverage. See right there, Kent Leonard stays on the outside shoulder and can't get to the inside position.
Another Saskatchewan first down. 5:28 to go, 4th quarter. Saskatchewan inside the 25 as Greer takes off. I don't know why that was whistled down.
I don't either. I think Calgary was offside, but that play looked like it had started just as the whistle blew.
Procedure. Saskatchewan number 63. Still first down.
Scott Henderson got called in procedure, but, you know, in fairness to the Calgary defense, they heard the whistle and stopped. So even though Profile Greer pops through there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was wondering why the whistle went at that point. But anyway, it's 1st and 15. Saskatchewan at the Stampeder 27. Another ad lib by Mason, and that one didn't work very well.
Ball carrier is the quarterback, number 11, Kevin Mason.
Yeah, that looked like just a straight-out busted play. Calgary did like a gap cancellation blitz, meaning they send the linebackers and try and cancel all the blitz, take away the running lanes.
Gain of a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 14.
Reggie Slack on the sidelines. He was injured when hit by Marvin Coleman. A strained neck. The numbers on Reggie as a passer today, not all that impressive, but as a runner, he did a pretty good job in the first half, no doubt. 2nd and a bunch here for Mason. Here comes the heat on the run. He has Greer. That'll be enough for a first down. Marker back at the line, however. We better check this out. He's a cool customer, Mason.
Carl Coulter does not have his helmet on. When he was in a fight over there, I believe it was with Anthony McClanahan.
Well, it's not going to be a holding call, according to the fans here. Anytime you guys are ready, we'll accept.
Major foul. Rough play disqualification.
Whoa.
Calgary number 41.
Wow.
First down.
Good night, Anthony.
Well, I saw them start the fight over on the sideline. You see from the blood on Carl Coulter that Anthony McClanahan, who's up on, right here, circled the right guy to start things up, and Coulter is right there. Now here, watch how this starts. Anthony McClanahan comes on the blitz, and he gets his hand right, both hands right up in the face of Carl Coulter, knocks his helmet right off. And that's where the disqualification comes.
Just like high sticking in hockey, you draw blood, and it goes from a minor to a major. This is a big penalty. Saskatchewan down to the 5. Good night, Anthony McClanahan.
Yeah, you can't get your hands up in the face. Carl Coulter, who has to snap the football, has got to get the blood out of his eyes now.
That'll be a badge of courage at some bar in Regina tonight, guaranteed. Carl Coulter, don't you think?
Later tonight, you know he's going to have won the fight. Even though he's got the scar, he won the fight, and his team has because they've got great field position.
And they've got McClanahan out of the game with a 1st and goal to go at the 5-yard line. Profilgreer fumbled the ball. And the Stampeders have it. It's Roger Reinson, the old Ram, coming up with the ball. Profile handled it a little bit carelessly. And the Stampeders dodge a bullet and hang on to a 1-point lead. Roger Reinson, the ex-Regina Ram, comes up with a big play for the Stampeders in his first start in the Canadian Football League. Profilgreer lost the handle.
Yeah, he comes up with the fumble recovery, and Profilgreer just reached up and over the ball and never really had a handle on it.
So the Stampeders get it back at the 3-yard line. Garcia in the end zone, escapes, looks to run, and he's going to get nailed far side. Dale Joseph over to make the tackle after a 10-yard ramble by Jeff Garcia.
It was very nearly a safety for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but Garcia, with his running ability, gets out of trouble and saves the 2 points because Kropke has him dead to rights, but then Garcia breaks that tackle and gets outside.
Close enough to measure, but it is a first down. A 1-point ball game. 3 minutes, 33 seconds on the clock at Taylor Field. Stampeders trying to make it 2 in a row over the Roughriders. The Riders really want to get even for last week. From the 13. They might as well give up with this running play. Kelvin Anderson hasn't been able to get anywhere all afternoon. Seven carries for 13 yards. And that really hurts what you can do on offense. 3-minute warning at Taylor Field. It's a 1-pointer on CFL Live. Always a good time at Taylor Field when the Stampeders and the Roughriders get together.
Who's that guy?
I don't know, but it's not a body.
It's not that warm out here.
Worked up at the gymnasium anywhere, I don't believe.
He's going to be after you after this game.
A 1-point ball game on CFL Live. 3 minutes to go. And the roar from the crowd is for the Saskatchewan defense to hold the Stampeders here. It's 2nd down. 6 to go, Calgary. And someone started early.
Well, Bobby Jerson came off the corner, and he's pointing to the center. Jamie Crysdale's, he's saying that he moved the football early.
Romano is trying
Procedure. Calgary number 59. Still 2nd down.
Romano was trying to blame Jurison for it down there, too.
Well, once Rocco Romano puts his hand on the ground in what's called a 3-point stance, 3-point meaning 2 feet and 1 hand on the ground. Once that hand's down there, you can't lift it up. And all Rocco Romano did was pull it up a little bit. That's procedure.
As a result, 2nd and 11, Calgary. Garcia has to put it up. Anderson makes the catch. He'll have the first down. Lost the ball. Picked up by Saskatchewan. Bemmel then lost it. I don't know who's recovered it. I thought Bemmel lost it. The Riders had possession, and that's the indication now. It'll be interesting to see who comes up from under this pile.
Everybody had a crack at it there.
Well, Bemmel had it and then lost it, I do believe.
Well, they're still fighting over it on the pile, but officials have already indicated Saskatchewan football. Dale Joseph comes up with it. Saskatchewan coming with the stunt. K.D. Williams from the outside. Number 43 jumps to containment, so Garcia spots Kelvin Anderson open. Little pick action on Lamar Griggs. McGriggs underneath there.
Now Bemmel, he's got it. He's lost it.
Ryan Carey provided the hit that knocked the ball out. Somehow Dale Joseph comes up with it in that scramble.
2:42 to go. Saskatchewan at the 29. Mason has a man wide open. Mayfield broke a tackle, then lost the ball. Saskatchewan will retain possession.
Eddie Davis was coming on a halfback blitz from the backside of the formation, and I don't know how Kevin Mason, who had no idea that he was coming, got this football off. Number 29, Eddie Davis, comes from this side of the screen, and he's going to, there he is right there flashing. Now across his body, Kevin Mason delivers that pass.
I said Mayfield. It was Harris, of course, and that's his first catch of the afternoon, so we should acknowledge that properly. Mims tries the left side.
Mims almost dropped that football.
2:12 to go.
91 Marvin Pope.
The game story thus far, Garcia has been a big part for Calgary as usual. 300 yards passing, a couple of touchdowns. Slack's running was more impressive than his passing. The Roughriders got to Garcia 4 times. And maybe the best story of the afternoon for Saskatchewan fans is a guy by the name of Profale Greer, uncovered here today. 148 all-purpose yards. Mason at the controls with Slack injured on the sidelines. 1:53 to go. 2nd and 10. Mason got nailed. Looking to find someone open the end zone. Ray Bernard set him up and forced him out.
Ray Bernard just chased him down, secondary contained. Calgary's coming with the free safety blitz with Roger Reinson coming on the blitz from the outside. He's going to flash out on this side of the field. Mason beats Reinson to the corner. But now Ray Bernard has secondary contained. And here he comes, number 95. But it was a good decision by Kevin Mason to hang on to that football, get his field goal team on rather than force something with Ray Bernard bearing down on him.
So now for the lead, McCallum is in. It's Calgary 19, Saskatchewan 18. Ball spotted at the 29. McCallum nails it. So, for the time being, well, it's Saskatchewan by 2. But when you check the time on the clock, that may not last long.
Jeff Garcia has plenty of time with 1:23. Wally Buono knows that his quarterback has plenty of time to move down the field, and they've already run some hurry-up offense in this game, meaning no huddle. So they're used to that. Probably, obviously, going to see it in this drive.
Defense. 1:23 to go. Stampeders begin at the 35-yard line. They're down by 2. A field goal puts Calgary back into the lead. Travis Moore. Ulmer made the tackle. Moore about halfway to a first down. 1:18 on the clock. Danielson, the leading receiver for the Stampeders. Moore and Bond share 10. Rogers and Bailey had 2 each.
Everybody's happy. Well, if they win.
Actually, it comes up short of 5 yards on the game. This is 2nd and more than that. Garcia won't get away. Jurison made the tackle. Across the line of scrimmage, it'll be 3rd down Calgary.
Oh, boy.
5.
Bobby Jurison makes a huge play for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and he has to change direction to do it. Here he is there. He's going to come up. Now watch him come back underneath and chase down pretty quick quarterback to Jeff Garcia.
No option for the Stampeders. They have to go for it on 3rd and 5. Garcia. No catch. Moore couldn't hang on. Couple of big plays by Dale Joseph in the late stages. Came up with a fumble and then knocked down that desperation pass.
Saskatchewan was going with the stunt up front to provide pressure on Kevin Mason. And here is Dale Joseph on the coverage. Nothing fancy about the pattern. Travis Moore is just going to try and run the end, but watch the close. Dale Joseph closes and gets that left arm in through there and strips it out of there.
So it's the Roughriders ball game to lose now. 47 seconds on the clock. They lead it by 2. Mason will try and take some time off. And Robert Mims has his best run of the day.
Number 27, Robert Mims.
Both Saskatchewan quarterbacks slightly shaken up today. Slackoff with a neck problem. And Mason run out of bounds by Ray Bernard a couple of plays ago. Had to ice his wrist. Riders content to let as much time tick off the clock as possible. They look at 2nd and 2 here. 22 seconds remaining. Now 18.
Well, there's 20 seconds. Once it's blown in, it's 20 seconds. They get in the huddle, so this is the last play of the football game. They can kill it.
Riders on the verge of their 3rd win of 1997. It's official. Saskatchewan by 2 over the Calgary Stampeders. Season series even. And the Riders pull a little further ahead of the Calgary Stampeders, who are 1-4 to start the year. Daly celebrating down there. An interesting afternoon. Many are here at Taylor Field. Slack looked like a miracle worker in the first half with his running ability in particular. Things slowed down for Reggie in the 3rd quarter. Then he was shaken up. Young Mason came in to close. I guess you'd give Mason the save.
Well, yeah, and Jim Daly looks like the genius starting. Reggie Slack, who has the starters, set it up for Mason to win the football game.
I think one thing is for certain. We really didn't decide who is the #1 quarterback in Saskatchewan here this afternoon. That controversy will roar next week, and every fan in Saskatchewan gets a vote on who should be #1. This guy or the starter today, Reggie Slack.
The CFL Live on TSN is brought to you by Advantage, providing solutions for business. And by Gatorade. Life is a sport. Drink it up.
Saskatchewan wins it by 2 close points, and in this game, so many things decided the game, Obi, but the weather as well. When you look at the wind, we didn't really talk about it, but the wind in the 4th quarter, Saskatchewan had it.
I think when the fans are watching CFL football games, especially when there are games being played in uncovered stadiums like Saskatchewan and Edmonton and so on, that knowing who has the wind in the 4th quarter, and that's always a coach's decision on the coin toss, that makes a big difference, and especially in tight games. And I think you saw that tonight because, or this afternoon when you saw McCallum kick a 52-yarder with the wind.
I think that the Saskatchewan just dodged a big bullet. Then when they were down inside the 5-yard line, having one of the best running backs sit on the sideline and having Profil Greer step in, I think was a big mistake. And they learned that mistake when they stuck him in at the end of the game.
And I think the Saskatchewan Roughriders have a bright future, and it's time to start building around the kid Kevin Mason, who proved once again that he deserves to be the starting quarterback.
What you talking about?
Because he played very well once again in the 4th quarter. He runs and he throws. That's what Reggie Slack should be. Reggie Slack should be the reliever.
He did good.
Period.
Reggie Slack had a great game, and don't take that away.
He played well in the first half by running. He couldn't throw it all today. I could throw better than him. Look, catch.
The show
See that? That's right on the money.
Argument about Kevin Mason and Reggie Slack, and the argument continues, but to the delight of Rough Rider fans, for today it doesn't matter who's at quarterback. They win the game, and they improve to 3-2. Calgary falls to 1-4. Mason and company take it. Final score 21-19 Saskatchewan. From all of us here at CFL Live, thanks for watching. See you next Thursday night in Toronto. So long.